Oh god. I didn't even have time to change.
Change what?
Clothes.
Oh. We go do that real quick?
Yeah, I'm good. So you wanna watch me go strip in the background?
Oh no.
What's going on? What's going on?
I thought that was an OnlyFans perk. Stuff.
I don't need to break anybody's eyeballs. That's not.
But if you go to the Downtime of the Hangar Patreon page.
Oh my god,
Speaking-
I'm blind!
Speaking of stuff like that, when I was at the beach, in a moment of vanity or whatever, I like put my Twitch URL in the sand. And I like had my I took a picture of it. I posted it in my Discord, but
oh wow!
I did it while I was at the beach. There was like a picture of me of my shadow of me in like beach attire. I was like, and I told everybody that's the closest they're gonna get to shirtless emblem is my shadow.
Nice.
Very buff.
I don't understand what's going on here.
There he goes.
Give me a break, give me a break.
I really wish that the dashboard for like Facebook stuff was a little bit more intuitive. Normally when I do multi-stream, I do it to both like YouTube and Facebook, but I gotta like find where it showed up in the timeline and then do edit live, and I can actually see like the normal dashboard. Let's do some quick stream reception here. Oh. Let's do some quick stream reception here. Oh, I do good.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
Let me just bring up the links, that way they're good to go, and then...
That takes care of the Twitter side, thank you. I just saw yours that tagged me. Technically, Facebook is already covered by video!
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know if that's actually gonna come up the same way unless I make it public. Man, you pinned a lot of shit. What the?
I don't understand what's going on here.
Just a few things. Just the emoji stuff in those two links. Figure might as well since I'm scrolling up.
Right. Actually, maybe I can do it in the settings. Fucking poor Ire. Give me a second, I'm on the shitter. You can watch it on the shitter, what do you mean? Portable streaming, wherever you are.
What? You don't have
Stop
phone?
stealing my tweet replies, please.
Did you say it at the same time that I did?
Yeah. I was like, you better grab that phone, winky face.
That's right.
You don't have phone?
Oh god, no. don't you start.
What, Magnum? What do you mean? We
second
all
I
have
heard
phones
that,
now. That's
the
why
pain.
Diablo Immortal is releasing. They
On
waited,
PC?
Yeah, they waited. We all have phones. Now the game's coming out. Why else would they release it?
On PC.
No,
It was a
but-
stopgap
No, but
until they got it
we were
on
waiting.
PC.
Yeah, but we all have phones now, so we're ready.
Yep, now we can
So-
just
so
go
why
through
is
the
it even on
true
PC?
the true mobile experience.
Yeah, they're just wasting their time.
Because I don't have a phone. I have 2.
Double
you're-
ready.
you're
I'm an
like
alt
Asian
account ready
then.
to go.
Aiden doubles that too.
I mean, one is pretty much not a phone anymore, but it's
Oh.
at least something that I can play stuff on Wi-Fi with.
It's a media machine.
And one has way too many cameras for a phone.
Oh.
I mean, literally, look at this. It's on the thing right now.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's pretty
Why
wild.
would you
The
have
cameras
so
have
many?
like 4.
This
four
one has 5.
cameras now.
Looking like a fucking vibe.
It has 5 things.
Gotta
Like,
get
for real, though.
Gotta get a phone like or a case like that.
I'm like memeing with how many cameras is on that thing at this point. Like, I saw that one phone that's apparently actually a phone that has like 10 cameras on it. I was like, what? This has to be fake, but apparently either somebody made one as a meme or it's real. But there is one with like 10 cameras. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Anyway, all the other links, sort them out. We'll do it live.
Us doing things on the fly without being pre-planned? No, impossible. Never,
Would it be
we never
downtime
do
the Hangar
that.
otherwise?
I just like saying earlier, yeah, we're about to do the downtime of the Hangar stuff, where we're
And another half
immediately
hour.
going to tangent on.
No, we are not. Do you understand how much shit?
No,
we
no,
have to
no,
talk
no,
about
no, no.
today?
Evo. Evo is technically a tangent.
Absolutely kick your ass.
No, it's technically a tangent. Even one of the first topic is technically a tangent from GBO2.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also we had that on the list. It's fine. Just don't go away from it.
Oh yeah, no, we're not
we'll
tangenting
talk
from the
about
list.
Overwatch 2 during the discussion. It'll be fine.
Oh my goodness! Apparently that's in beta now too, and I'm like,
No,
wait,
no, no.
that's actually in
No.
beta.
No, do not.
I haven't touched it. I'm not even looking at it. Like
Don't look
I'm
at
just
it.
like
Do
I'm
not.
for real though. It's like Gundam
ReZEL.
Evolution. Yeah. Overwatch 2. Resident Sleep.
Well, the funny thing is, I was talking to Purire about it. Apparently, they got rid of like a lot of the stuns and stuff. So like, a lot of the gameplay and the way that flows is going to be very different. Now, outside of that, I don't know how much more is going to happen, but I'm not getting into that beta. I already got to deal with Evolution. I can't do another game with dailies and shit.
Started-
Oh my god.
Well, here I'll mention what I started in the intro.
I
So,
would
yeah.
fucking die.
Okay, we ready? Good. Marker. Okay. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of Downtime in the Hangar, where we talk about all things GBO2 and definitely never tangent.
Ever.
Except for our first topic is technically a tangent, but
Oh, it's true though.
but yeah, I'm joined by Gustav the 13th
Yep.
and Gaming Emblem.
Howdy, howdy.
So guys, how was your past month? Gustav the 13th.
Yep.
Good
Oh
stuff.
my god, it has been something. Alright. It has been a month filled with things and honestly just too much shit game wise, but it's been fun. Checking out the network test, also the network test that didn't happen, but I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit, even if it's just on the side. Evolution was fun. We've just been trying to plow through a lot of updates and stuff. Like SRW just finally got its other DLC going on, so I'm still going through that, and it's actually supposedly one of the other extra missions that it unlocks also lets you go through the true ending, and we actually missed that, so we're gonna be doing that. Oh my god. So yeah, it's been pretty busy. Also, Mighty Goose actually got a content update, so we did that the other day, and that was really fun. It's almost like all these things as like games as a service and like what's the word, like rolling content, and actually it can be useful sometimes. What about you guys? It's mostly just been games and work for me, so.
Yeah, I had a little bit of action, I guess, this past month.
Yeah.
You know, same as Gustav, network test. even though I successfully got banned and or
Oh god.
penalized.
For both of them.
Oh man,
All
that's
forms
brutal.
of Gundam Network test.
Oof.
I'm just testing out everything. Got to make sure the penalty system works. Don't disconnect from too many matches or have your game crash. You won't be able to play for a literal day.
I thought it was good old Toxic Magnum, but here we go.
Yeah.
Islam getting banned before me.
I've been the closet toxic sweat lord the entire time. Nobody was gonna guess.
That's where he got that laugh from. The
It was me.
it was always me.
But yeah, so we did a little bit of that. But I went to Panama City Beach in Florida with my family for a week. It was actually the week of the network test, like the second part of it, which I really hate to break it to you guys, but I had my uncle and Bamco sabotage the network test, so I wouldn't miss it while I was on vacation.
How could you?
Yeah, you're hearing it here first. I hate to break it to everybody. No clipperinos, please. I don't know if you guys have been on Twitter, but if the Gundam PC fans find out it's me, they may literally throw me onto a colony and drop it onto the earth. So let's hope that wasn't. Let's hope no one finds out. But yeah, it was fun. I got to body my family at go-karts. Work out those Mario Kart skills. Very fun. I was on the beach and doing all sorts of stuff. Had a good time. Got back, played some more video games on the internet. You know how that goes. Also did a Super Robot Wars 30 things. Super excited about the update. Played a little bit the other day and was going to be on today, but then we had some guy post something about podcast stuff, and then we were here talking about the Battle Operation 2 video game on the internet. So outside of that, just work, but you know, same old normal people live stuff. How about you, Magnum?
Pretty much getting into the swing of things with, you know, spring and yard work and possibly gardening and whatnot. So got a lot of that cleaned up. Still need to till up some more stuff and get things started. But yeah, for the most part, been doing that outside. Other than that, just the usual stuff. Oh, there was the tree outside in, you know, the winter. We had like a couple of big ices come through. One of the limbs decided to drop off. I can't remember if that was during the big power outage or what, but yeah,
Oh shit.
huge limb, but it was literally broke off like right at the tree itself, so the whole thing broke, and it was one that like went up way in the air kind of thing. So yeah, it was huge. Finally got that loaded, pretty much covered up the entire truck. By the time it cut it up and even chainsawing it into pieces was, yeah, it took the entire bed and covered like half the front up, but got it close enough to the tree line so I could just like shove things out and it just fall down a hill, and there we go. But finally got that cleaned up. That was pretty big. Also, it finally got hot here, and then that same tree where the limbs broke decided to just be like, I'm gonna sweat or whatever. Is that the term for trees when their sap is just going everywhere?
I think that's
Say
what
it
most
is
people
for,
say, but
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's okay. Anyway, but yeah, I'm gonna go with sweat. So it sweated all over my truck, and yeah, I went to go clean it off, and
Oh gosh,
it's
Truck-kun got all goopy, Magnum.
oh no,
oh no. It was just so stinky.
oh no.
Truck-kun,
Oh, there goes some more. There goes some more channel art for you.
I did. Oh no. Well, I'm glad I didn't use the word sticky, but yes, the tree sap was a pain to try to get off because mainly the waspers were like, "Hey, what's up? That's our food."
At a party.
They're like, "Yo, you're cleaning up our food right now," and I'm like, "Oh." So I waited till the next day when it was raining and windy and kind of stormy a little bit, and I was like, "Okay, now we're gonna clean everything off. No waspers here." And then I opened up the actual
a water hose, like time to intensify.
Oh god. Just battle an entire swarm.
Yes.
No, that's what the actual like whatever the sprays are. Like I go out and I'm like spraying the, you know, ceiling and everything, and like, yeah, get off my lights around my house. But anyway, but yeah, game-wise though, back into Tarkov, and Lost Ark came out with a new class. So I decided to check it out, because they also came out with a boost event. So now you can essentially get to T3 by playing pretty much roughly 6 days kind of thing, looks like. Which is kind of cool. I'm pretty much going to try to stream it and just do that at the same time as more of a casual kind of catch-up thing. Because it's just an alt, but also at the same time, I'm curious to see how well you can catch up to people. For Lost Ark, my biggest complaint is now pretty much that you can't really get to the end content with friends, and it's kind of looking like one of those things. Unless they do speed it up to a certain point, there's going to be content that for the people who either well or have been essentially no-lifing it or have been going really hard, you won't be able to play that content with those people. So it feels like there's a weird community split. Now, I could be crazy. Maybe it's a little easier to get to some of that content for a fresh player, but I'm really curious to see how many new players kind of trickle in and actually make it to the in-game content if they're starting late. So that's kind of what this is to test a little bit. And I'm afraid that's the case, which you've heard me complain on here about GBO2 being bad for new players, but unless new players get able to get into things, I feel like that's bad for the community economy. But yeah, pretty much. Other than that, though, that's been about it. GBO2 things, usual stuff, getting the dailies, trying to grind to S-. That's been a lot of fun. But
how's your progress on it so far, Magnum?
Was in A+, and which will be relevant topic when we get to rating stuff here later. But lost 2 games after winning 5, and those 5 wins were literally didn't matter. So that was a little rough. And then I just kind of was doing dailies, and just bad costs were up when I was doing dailies, but you know, doing it for the content, and just lost a few. So I'm like 30, 40 points, I think, below A+ again. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I just got to find a time when there's a cost up that I like, and then go ham again. I mean, that's pretty much the main thing. Like, 400 was the best. Like, as soon as I would hit 400, I pretty much just didn't lose. So I was on like a 20-game win streak at one point.
That's impressive, yeah.
Yeah, so that was again 400 cost though. I mean, that's my cost. But as soon as it changed, it was like now there's 600 and 450, and I'm like, well,
it's time to
yeah,
Shikikai and Jeddah.
Exactly.
Or go play Tarkov.
And then he went to play Tarkov.
Just wait till 700 comes out and play your enhanced double Zeta wins games by itself.
God,
yeah, my
I still
Dagdoll.
want that. I still want it because I'm still
Yeah.
with Sazabo. Like, I can still manage, but like, fuck.
I will say though, the Dagdoll changes have been pretty nice, which we'll look at those again later. That's about the only one from the old notes that I was going to talk about. But yeah, speaking of stuff later, let's go ahead and talk about the Evo. Let's go and just hop into the tangent right now.
Oh, speaking of that though, are we also going to talk about the letter that just got dropped the other day?
You talk about the adjustments?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, the what? Which what? Where?
Yeah, there was
For Gundam Evolution?
Yeah, there was a dev letter about the network test and the fact that they're going to be doing unit adjustments.
Oh,
If you haven't seen it, I can grab you a link.
yeah, I can pull that up.
They also have example videos. I feel like people have already done videos about them, but I might as well make myself do them because, like, I'm gonna be playing that game, so fuck it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be doing something on it with. I figured we got some time, so I've been working on one.
I
But
think it's funny, like, when I got the ReZEL, I was like, oh, I might as well do a video about that, and then it's like, wow, people have already had them, like, hour 1. That was, like, already 3 hours late to everyone else posting. I was like, okay, well.
okay, but before we go through these like 3 or 4 changes that they're talking about here, what do we think about the game so far?
So far, so good. That's also coming from me not having a lot of experience with other hero shooters though. Like I played TO2, which I guess some people would kind of consider sort of a hero shooter, but more so just like one of the team shooters of the day, because it's still like more heavily just class based as opposed to individual characters. I played Overwatch when it was in its early beta and then never really touched it again. So without a lot of that kind of just, I guess, being desensitized to it, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd probably say my experience is the same as Gustav. Like, initial impressions, it's fun and different because it's not something that I normally like play or
Intensify
do.
this night.
And I
Yeah,
think
this is what I
actually
usually
addressed
have
in
on
the
for work.
director
I
letter.
fucking didn't have time to
like
change, and
see
the fucking
game when they
Discord
start
call started
matching
to
players
ring, and I was like,
more
ah, shit.
appropriately. 'Cause I think they make a mention about how you could literally play against anybody regardless of skill or whatever, which, you know, they had like a little tiny network rating system or whatever, but I doubt it was being weighed all that heavily, I guess. So I would like, and it's probably still gonna happen, but I would like to get to the point to where the matches are a little less one-sided. I think like they were sometimes during the network test. So that'll be pretty good. But I enjoyed it during the time that I could play.
Oh yeah, for me, my experience with this stuff, I've done quite a bit with like hero shooters and stuff. I did play a bit of Overwatch, like close to when it first came out, and then I played a little bit later when some friends got into it and stuff. So overall, though, I mean, like it you know, it is kind of that first-person shooter thing. As far as not having, you know, all the abilities and stuff for the suits or all the weapons, you know, lore-wise or whatever, did feel kind of weird. But at the same time,
where is it?
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Like it did feel weird, but at the same time, it's I mean, it's pretty good. Like, it's just the mechanics of one of those games, and it's definitely solid. Like I mean, with a little bit of balancing and depending on what they start releasing, that's pretty much my thoughts on it right now. So, main thing for me is it was just fun. Like that's the main thing with a lot of these. If you're having fun playing through them, you know, I probably will be somebody who likes to try to climb on the, you know, the ranked mode and get up there. But at the same time, just being able to queue with friends and squad up.
Yeah,
and
the squaddery is such a huge like night and day difference between like this game and Evolution. Like, I'm very glad that it's a lot easier to just play with people.
Yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me, is just squatting up and having fun with friends and kind of just doing whatever. And it was so easy to do that it was just like, you know, I was playing with some people in the morning, some people in the afternoon, the evening, whatever. It was just like rotating in and out. You know, it was great. Like that was the best part about this. And I mean, it's Gundam themed, so I'm in. Maybe that's why it's, you know, just a little bit better. But the gameplay wise, you know, it's solid. It doesn't feel jank. Like, that's the thing. If they did like a janky Overwatch thing, then I could see it being like, ooh, for a hero shooter, whatever you want to say there. But I mean, the gameplay seemed really solid. The boosting was very interesting, like that you were just dashing, so the gameplay was pretty fast paced. Yeah, that was kind of interesting that it was like that. Looks like they have some very high skill cap suits and then not so high skill cap for different suits, and each one has cool mechanics. So far, it's been pretty awesome. Again, I'm really curious to know their release schedule for new suits and see what they bring into it. That's kind of the next thing. Then from there, they're going to bring out new content or whatever. I'm just curious to see what they do next. But it's a good start. Definitely a solid start, I think. Oh, did you guys do the, what was it, the survey thing?
That was actually a little bit longer than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I actually was recorded. I'm probably going to throw that up at some point. But I did record myself going through and, like, actually filling that out. So, but, like, I was not expecting the survey to be that in-depth. With, like, how many, or what series would you like to see? I was like, or what series have you seen before, or whatever it was? I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is saying, what series would you like to see? When it said, like, your favorite series. I'm like, Am I gonna say some of these aren't my favorite just to give a vote for?
Be that guy. Oh shit.
I'm like, I want this, this, and this in right now, so I'm gonna not say other stuff is stuff I like. But
watch out! Don't throw votes into the popular categories.
hey, man, I will say I want something from Wing and G Gundam in there. Like,
Oh
Absolutely.
my god, so
Those
many
are
people
two.
are saying both of those. Mostly, you know what? I want those just so that people have them and they don't ask anymore.
yeah, I just want to see something from that, and then be like, okay, I'm satiated. We're good.
I'd like some suits from Gundam X that aren't like the double X and stuff are cool, but it'd be cool to have like some of the other suits that don't get a lot of attention, like the Cubelay knockoff.
Hmm. They probably do like Versaga or something. Give me the chest break.
Oh, there was some people saying Age too, which I can't remember if that one was on that list, but yeah, there was a decent list of different series. I was like, wow.
Yeah, G Reco would be cool too. I wouldn't mind seeing some of those.
Oh yeah.
I'm a sucker for like the G Arcane and stuff like that.
But yeah, what do you guys think about the maps and the game modes?
Game modes are pretty nice. I'm trying to think of what. Now I'm thinking about the maps. I don't remember what some of them were actually called. Fuck.
Oh yeah, all I remember is one was Flak, and that was one of the capture ones. That's the only one I remember. There was like Thermal Plant or something. That was the one with the 3 points,
The
A,
ones
B,
for
and C.
Domination were actually pretty good. I didn't mind those as much. Some of the planning maps were a little rough, but overall I felt like the design for most of them were okay. Do I kind of want some more variety? Sure. Hopefully that'll come with time, but for what was essentially just like a beta or like a network test in general, not bad.
Yeah, and as a casual player, I do feel like on one hand it's kind of frustrating, but the other hand I get it. I like that there were kind of like multiple ways to get into different areas. Kind of, in most cases, felt like it helped reduce chokeholds. The only like it's off the top of my head, the big ones that I could think of were what's the one map where you're like on the moon or whatever, and it's one of the planting missions. But the attacking team has to push through that big gateway to get to the capture point in the back. Like that's one of like the more major chokeholds I can really think of off the top of my head. Is that gate, like that's going into the base from the attacker team spawn point. Like the more choky spot that I could think of. Because even the outdoor area, I feel like it had enough lanes to where it didn't feel quite as forced into one spot.
Are you talking about where the front capture point that then lets you branch out, was that like right there in the middle? Or
I don't know, but like, so you get out of your base, it's like a outer space kind of setting, and you go from your base to the defend point, and it's got the big gate with like the window just above the big gate. There's like technically two entrances if you can like fly or whatever.
oh, okay, that one. So like where it went up a hill if you went right, and then kind of around and down if you went left. Oh, that one.
Try to keep this to just the node itself then.
Yeah.
But that was one that you actually had. That was like a King of the Hill capture point, wasn't it? Not a bomb planning one.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that was a big choke.
Mode.
I mean, the only thing with those modes, though, I mean, for me, was like the first one was kind of easy to capture because once you broke the line, you could just get to the point because they had so far to get back to that point. That was my kind of thing.
The chunks on some of those are really big, and like some of those seats do have a good amount of like traversal, but even so, because the traversal skills that they have are so short because they're expecting you to do them in like shorter bursts during action, they don't actually make that traverse like fast. And I guess it's supposed to be a punishment, like if you're not actually like pushing well enough together or whatever, but like oof, kind of slows down things a little too much. But that being said, a lot of people were saying that in some ways it actually did feel a little bit faster and slower compared to other shooters, just because like everything does have like boost dash, but like other games kind of have different speeds to their actions. And when we look at the notes here, a lot of the things that they did for changes were typically just animation speed ups and whatnot.
Which
So-
I'm pretty happy about it. All the stuff they changed, like the Marsign and Turn A, were definitely things that I complained about during my playtesting with it. So
Okay, so all I saw here was... Okay, Turn A and Marasai was like, okay, so Barbatos. Was there anything up at the top really that was just hello, thank you for testing and whatnot? And they were changing things.
Before they talk about Turn A and the Marasai, they talk about the changes they're making to the Barbados.
Okay, so let's see. Highest attention from everyone. Barbatos is a unit high mobility.
Are they actually changing things? Because other people were saying the general consensus was that they were just changing everything around it.
Well, they say in there about the Turn A and the Marasai, like, you know, it's supposed to be acting as counters, but they said something about like adjusting the performance of like the club and the mace and stuff like that. They didn't give any values, so maybe they say they don't have official notes ready for it yet. But they do mention what they're looking at about changing the Barbados in the notes themselves.
Well, here we go. In addition, so pretty much they just mentioned striking range. Learning once you have an opponent within striking range, it should be easy to kill somebody. The unit has the highest win percentage due to the factors peculiar to the network test, assessing all the collected rate data. Second and third place were Suzabi and the Pell Rider, with a difference of around 0.5%. Turn A and Marasai, so I was hoping Suzabi was mentioned here actually for this, but were not working as intended, as the development team assumed their skills to function as counters. So it's good that there is one that's supposed to be a counter, right? But it seemed like nothing countered the... Once you were like doing your swing, if you were swinging, you pretty much won over everything. So I'm glad. I'm guessing the flip, if you're swinging at the same time you get flipped, the turn A wins, and I guess the Marasai is like Sea Serpent is supposed to win against it. But
did they change it? Did they mention anything about? I don't recall reading anything about them like mentioning a priority over it. To me, it just sounded like it was coming out faster. Like they reduced the stupid like hug stance and made it seem like more of just when you touch them, you just fucking throw them. And they reduced the stupid wind up on the Sea Serpent. So the big changes to me. I'm not sure what you're talking about with that, at least from what I saw.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is just under the Barbatos category. It says that they were not working as intended, as the development team assumed that their skills would function as counters to the Barbatos.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's what. So like.
Yeah, not with how zippy that fucking thing was.
Yeah. And
Okay, maybe that's what they mean. Is just like it would hit.
Yeah, they thought that it was effective enough, and that's why
Oh, okay,
they
that's
sped a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying.
them up.
Gotcha.
Is like we thought they were gonna be good enough, but because it was just outperforming most of the animations, it just wasn't happening.
Also, Barbatos users tended to only play Barbatos, while everybody else was playing other suits. I love that is the second point. And then the third bullet point is the rate distribution was random, which, okay, allow players with high skills to bully low players.
Well, the funny thing is if you immediately gelled with Barbatos, like most of the dailies involved you using it in one way or another, or at least one of your three. So you were pretty much eating well on those too. So it's not like you weren't doing other stuff while you were playing it either.
Yeah. Oh, there's actually a video before buff and after buff. Oh, okay, yeah, quite literally, yeah, okay.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that some of those it's a little bit noticeable, and then others it really doesn't seem that way. Or
The
just
turn
the
A
fact
is
that
like-
they
I ended
don't
up
mirror
watching
the
Turn A one a
scenarios.
couple times. They just show that, you know, hey, this is a counter against the Barbados. That's why we buffed it.
They also improved the bullet speed of the beam rifle when charged maximum, and improved the what? Oh, the time to go. Okay, that's actually the throw. And Moonlight Butterfly should be easier. That's funny.
It's pretty good. I think the one or two times that I played Turn A Gundam, I probably Moonlight Butterflied once the entire game. So that's pretty nice that they made an adjustment to that. But I'm also bad, so you know, that's the thing too. Apparently everybody else was, so I don't feel that bad about it.
Yeah, I was doing horrible with the turn A. But yeah, okay, so that's what they want to be, like, defensive against the Barbatos. I was going to bring up the Barbatos, but this note kind of did it anyway. Personally, for me, that big hammer swing forward, I would assume that I could block it with a shield. And at least, you know, like, if the hyper hammer, you know, the hyper hammer from the Gundam gets thrown at you, you just drop the shield that you have. So
That was a poor assumption.
yeah, I figured it would kind of be the same thing as that at the very least, but yeah. So you can't really shield against the Barbatos. If you try to shield and stand there, it's going to be like, bonk, and then smack again, you're dead, which, yeah.
It's kind of funny because, like, GBO2 has already kind of predisposed me to the idea of, like, shields aren't that useful. Because we already have heavy attacks that go through them. Sometimes if you don't actually have shield mastery, they can also be a liability, so, like, having several different classes that are like, no, this is actually a skill, and it actually is going to, like, absorb and be, like, half of what you do. It's like, oh, okay. Only to immediately be like, oh, no, you still had to deal with stuns, though. Fuck.
Right. But if they want the Barbatos to be the counter to the Suzabi, then fair enough. As long as there's something else for counterplay in there, which, if they're intending the turn A and the Mars side to be that, then
Sazabi was a
that works.
fucking menace during most of that as well.
Yeah, once I started actually getting used to it, I'm like, oh, I understand how to use this. There we go. I just was not used to the shotgun thing too much early on. But yeah, the GM Sniper 2, what do you guys think about that? Did you guys play that much?
No, because I'm trash at shooters, lol.
Did you play much, Emblem?
Oh, sorry. Repeat the question.
GM Sniper 2.
Maybe once. Yeah, I think I literally played it once. I had shot a couple of dudes. It was neat.
So, literally, I'm just kind of reading this, and I played it quite a bit. Is a unit that has an ability to defeat a unit with single shot from long distance. Due to this, it has often been the object of discussion where the influence of one shot tends to be big. First of all, I don't intend to change the concept of GM Sniper 2, which can defeat most units with a single shot by critical hit. This is by design. Okay, that's pretty much if they were what they thought about it, because I think it's one of those things that as soon as, like, any of these snipers and these hero shooters specifically, as soon as they get rid of headshots, like one-shotting, unless they come up with like one or two tank suits that are going to be able to survive it, as soon as they get rid of the headshotting, it's like they're just bottom tier at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
there's no
trash.
point in playing them.
What are some
However,
examples of them having done that?
I think they nerf, like, what's her name in Overwatch once? Can't remember. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long. Yeah, Widowmaker. Yeah. I think she got hit once as just like one right off the top of my head, and then they were like,
roll that back, or
yeah, I think so. But I mean, again, it's been a long time, so they could have went all over the place since then.
yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You'd have the same problem with why most people play sniper supports in Battle Op. So
The fucked up thing in Battle Op is if they really wanted to go there, it would just be you hitting center mass. Because you're just going to be hitting the cockpit area.
pilot.
So, am I crazy? But this okay. However, hit scan, immediate shooting, weapons critical hit rate was higher than we thought throughout the test. Similarly, it was very easy for GM Sniper 2 to deal critical hits.
Yeah, I think that has to do with them talking about reducing the projectile size or something.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, okay. There we go. That makes more sense. So I was trying to make sense of that. I was like, wait a minute, is there like an actual crit chance in this? That what? I thought it was just a headshot as a crit. But
Yeah, those
which
are the
you
crits.
can't get with the gun tank.
Nope. And
You
yet they were
can't
having
headshot.
the critical kill finish dailies. I'm a little. I'm kind of hoping that they realized that they were doing some weird shit like that, and that they actually just quietly fix it if they're not going to address it directly.
Yeah, I can't remember if that's something that I actually typed in the like. Did they have a box where they were like, any other thoughts?
Yeah,
if they
there
did,
was
I'm pretty
towards the
sure
end.
that's something I added. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was like, take the gun tank off the crit chance quest since it can't crit. Yeah, but or I put it somewhere in that.
Which we're talking about a little bit in chat, but maybe adding, make it to where the sniper rifle can has to charge the fire. That makes sense. Where, because like the example that we're talking about is like in TF2, a lower charge or whatever, or like less time scoped up, will one-shot most of the lighter classes, which have to charge longer to be able to deal more damage. So maybe make it to where like you can't just scope up real quick and fucking own the Sazabi or something like that. Maybe a possibility. Something to look at down the line.
Yeah.
We'll know what's good when the Sniper 2 becomes the Sniper Custom.
Right.
Can't charge a ballistic gun, but we got this beam rifle. Or the gunner gun.
Having extra sub weapons would be neat too, as opposed to just only having like that and like skills.
Yeah, I was curious to see how much straight up just like one weapon, couple abilities this was going to be. Because I didn't really pay
Melees
attention.
would help, like other suits.
Possibly. Yeah, that would be curious if they do stuff like that. But
Some of those beam sabers are going unused.
I mean, that is the
Nice.
thing. Like,
Give us a melee button, I beg.
Bonk. I'd like that. I'd probably just go running around like punching people with a sniper. I'm a sniper main.
yes. But
No one shoots anyone anymore. They just go around knifing people.
What's the point of shooting guns in a FPS?
Imagine trying to shoot people in a shooter.
Bunger.
Right, Barbados has already proved it as irrelevant.
Yep.
GG. But yeah, anything else with Gundam Evolution?
Yeah, look at my shot. Stop coming to the right. Oh, we're good.
I think I'm good. I'm down to talk about the GBO2 video game in our Battle Operation 2 podcast.
Yeah, tangent done.
Yay, we're done. That's it, everybody. Have a good night.
Okay, so network test things. Yeah. They got postponed until who knows when.
It sure was an attempt made.
Well, and just to be clear for people that maybe didn't participate, the initial, like, what was it, 4 or 5 hour period, or 3, however long it was, that they did at first before the one from the, what day was it, the 22nd or whatever? The one on the 22nd got canceled, but the ones the weekend before that did technically happen.
15. Or the first night,
It was
yeah.
definitely an event.
I'd love to hear how everybody's network test experience went, or maybe I should say how far you got. I think the meme failed to save abort
Yeah.
is pretty good.
Much.
Also, I barely got through any of the tutorial into the base camp. Like, by the time I hit base camp, they had already given up the period and it was done.
Oof.
Yeah, I got through. Yeah, I think I got to base camp save boss, and I was still trying, and someone said it's been canceled. I'm like, what?
No.
And then I was like, wait a minute, don't we still have an hour? And I saw a thing saying like, we'll be trying again tomorrow. I was like, oh, whoops. But
Yeah, I was able to actually finish everything up and do a 10 spin, or whatever the first spin was, whatever single or something. But I was actually able to get into lobbies and attempt to connect other players. But the
You get
closest I
banned.
got was, yeah, the closest I got was I eventually got to the point where I made custom lobbies and just did them as 1v1s. And we could get far enough to get past suit ready up and match start. But I guess the game saves, which makes sense, but the game saves before the match starts. And you literally couldn't save. So they just had to back out. And if you back out, they consider it a dodge. And in battle operation, if you dodge enough, you get a penalty.
So yeah, that was pretty awkward. I'm curious to know why they postponed the second week specifically. Like, I'm curious if they still didn't fix the first issue, or if they found more issues.
Thanks for liking the stream. What's going
Yeah,
on?
and I kind of wonder too.
Hope you're doing alright today.
They talked about the server load or whatever in the tweet. So I do kind of wonder, like, was it just harder? I don't know how easy it is to get more server capacity or whatever. I kind of figured you could just pay for some or something, but maybe it's like move infrastructure around or something. I don't know how that works, but obviously there must have been more to it than just take my money, give us more server space or something, right? So
It also depends on how they were like allocating the database for like player accounts. If it was literally there was just too many people playing, they could have just, you know. One thing that happened was my name got taken, and I was like, "Wait, did somebody?"
I heard, yeah.
But then I was like, "Wait a minute," and started. Well, somebody else. Well, I think it was Casa that actually had the same issue where, but he put his name in and it got accepted, and then during the tutorial, the thing completely just crashed, and then loading back up, he was then had to make a new name. So I think what happened was my game technically crashed, but I just did the thing of, you know, do you want to close program now or do you want to wait?
They were doing the moment to be back.
And that was right when I hit enter to make my name. So
I like how when Gustav steps away, he ducks down.
I was like,
man, I usually stand up. Gustav got like crawl under his desk.
I was like, whoa.
Periscope down.
I'll be back. I need to go bail out the engine room.
Stupid charger for my tablet over here keeps coming undone. And I gotta like crawl under my desk for a second. Like, come on, just get
okay.
again.
But
Hey, Magnum, what were you saying?
but yeah, I think when I hit enter to save my name, it was like, because nothing else popped up, and it didn't say it was already taken or anything, so I just kind of was like, oh, it just crashed. But I wonder if it accepted the name, went to try to load, crashed, and then, because it re-brought up the same screen, as if I didn't put a name in at all. I was like, oh, that was weird, and then it wouldn't let me do it. And so I'm just wondering if, like, it tried to save it, and then something broke with that, which...
Probably.
Yeah, so... There was something happening between either communication with their like saving server, probably their database. So could be. There's a few different issues that it could have been. I'm just curious which one it is specifically, and depending on which one of those, that's why I'm like, if it's the easier thing I'm thinking of, then I'm kind of more worried. If it's not, then they're probably still working on it and trying to actually get a good fix for it. So, working out the kinks now, fair enough. But if they, I guess it does show that they didn't really test it too much. They were just like, it seems to work. We're good to go.
Yeah, it's like, oh, the client works. What about all the internet stuff? I don't know. We just gotta run it and find out. Okay.
So that's kind of the awkward
that
part.
part didn't go well.
But
did you all have a chance? Because it sounds like you didn't actually get to do the tutorial or anything. Did you have a chance to see any like gameplay at the very least of the PC version? Because I can talk about my experience with the keyboard and mouse controls and stuff if you want.
yeah, I got to do that much. I got to.
Okay.
I think Gustav, you said you got to base camp too, right?
Yeah, but like right after it just disconnected. So.
But you did the tutorial to where you could like do mouse and keyboard.
Mm-hmm. I did not actually do that though, because I was like, that's gonna be ass, and I just did the controller.
Oh, okay.
Like I had a reflex, I just didn't touch it.
Well, I guess Emblem, what was your experience with mouse and keyboard?
To me, the only weird part was really the mouse. The default controls on the keyboard themselves, just off tutorial and messing around, seemed fine. The only thing I really needed to change personally was I swapped boost and jump. Shift feels more natural to me as a boost button than spacebar, and vice versa. Because like whenever I was doing one of the tutorial things, when I was trying to animation cancel, or when I was trying to like follow up after a stun, I literally just jumped because I hit the shift key. I was like, yeah, I need to change this. But outside of that, like the mouse feels fine. And I was talking to Extra about this a little bit the other day, but like when you're moving, when your mouse speed matches your mobile suit's turning speed, it feels perfectly fine to me. It's just when you're moving your mouse fast enough to where the red box is moving, where it feels a little bit wonky. It's kind of like when you're playing the PC or the console version and there's input lag. To me, it just felt like weird input lag, because I felt like I was a little bit behind where I wanted to be. But maybe just need to adjust the DPI. And just like what I was talking about with Extra, apparently people that play MWO just adjust the DPI in their mouse because the suits in that game kind of work very similar to how the field in Battle Operation 2 is. So maybe I just need to like get a pro gamer mouse and get rid of my janky, like goofy Logitech, the literal 4-button mouse, and get my game on or something. That might help.
Get your game on. Yep, possibly.
Yeah, I was probably going to try to see how the turn speeds felt between like raid and general and support and stuff, and try to have like, I've got a button that I can press on the bottom that will adjust my DPI, and so I can have like a raid setting, a support setting, and a general setting. But the problem is when you start putting stuff in, like your shield broke or you pop Hades or something, then that's just going to get weird. So I don't know. Right now, I just kind of leave it on the same thing. I've played MechWarrior, and it feels kind of the same. It's just as obnoxious when you get something that turns fast or turns slow, and your DPI is through the roof. And but the difference is you don't really have a extra box that's flying off the edge of your screen. I will say that little red box was really annoying to watch. I'm like, why do I have this extra thing on it? Can I please turn that off? Like, I've just got my reticle. I know it turns slower. I've done this before. Like, there's several games, like, if you're doing certain plane things in like War Thunder or something, like these little movements, I will say what was kind of different though is it feels weighty in those games, right? Like in MechWarrior, you don't just like, it's not just like an instant like boop, boop, left right. You have more weight, especially like MechWarrior 5. You actually have some more weight to it. So if you go from right to left, it's got to decelerate a bit, and then
controversial in World of Tanks in particular, and like most of those, it actually has to follow how fast you can go to. So
yeah.
Maybe I should play one of these games so I can maybe have like some practice for Battle Op. Extra, you want to play MWO?
I can get back on that. I did make Warrior Online for a bit.
That's
But,
another one that I did the beta with and then never touched again.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did like the beta, and then like later I tried to come back to it, and then that was about it. But yeah, overall the controls felt good. I mean, I do agree. I'll probably change around the keyboard stuff at some point. Space did feel a little weird. I'm probably gonna do like for jump and because especially in space, right? I might put those on my mouse. That way I can ascend and descend in space with mouse buttons. Unless I find something that makes a little bit more sense on the keyboard. Because I don't know how easy it's going to be like WASD and shift and control going up and down at the same time. But I'm curious to see how space feels and how shooting just feels overall. I think shooting's going to feel a whole lot better for aiming. It's like, which we'll talk about that here later, but I think the new gun for the Dragu, you know, has a bit more aiming to it. Are you showing the lack of buttons on your mouse?
Or, I guess what it looks like.
Okay.
We're trying to talk about what kind of mouse I should get. We're talking about ergonomic versus ambidextrous. And I'm a total casual, so I was just like,
But yeah, I used to run the Death Adder. Now I'm onto the Viper, just because it's got crazy polling rate. So for shooters, that's pretty nice. I could definitely fill in Tarkov. The difference between the two mice is pretty noticeable. But yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. Let's see. Anything else with the network test? Talked about the controls.
It's a shame it barely existed. It barely knew.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the reasons why because I've seen people making like videos and stuff to help new players out, but I almost think it's a little bit too soon because we have an idea of the starting point at the network test, but all we can really do is just do a little more than speculation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's because we still don't have a firm idea of what all's going to be in, or
this is pure like doing it for the content range right now still.
Oh sure.
Yeah, I started one for tips and tricks for beginners, but the thing is, it's like part 1, and then I'm gonna do like a part 2 instead. You know, just like the obvious, like go do Tinda for the actual tutorial.
Head pats only, Magnum.
What?
You said go do Tinda. Head pats only,
Calling
Magnum.
the police.
Yep. Got him. He's right there, guys. Officer. That's him.
I will say that there's a lot of
my goodness.
Japanese players that do this on YouTube.
Talk to the nice lady.
Of course, there's
that
very
does the
different time
tutorial
zones
mission.
and stuff for all that. And there are 1 or 2 people who do this live.
Moshi Moshi police desk.
But I would say the bulk of us, including other people that are on the podcast with me right now, really do.
Well, hey,
most of
if
their
anybody
stuff on
does
Twitch
that, you
and
know,
so do
then
I.
they're the ones getting the FBI open up. Okay,
Now,
but
I'm
anyway,
doing rated when we're talking.
but yeah, stuff like that,
Well,
stuff,
we'll
kind of like the
talk
obvious stuff, basic
other
comboing,
Suits
like
and
that
stuff,
kind of thing, right?
We might do some
Like just the
lessons
basic
to show
mechanics
them
of the
off, but
game.
That's about it.
But other than that, that's pretty much all like part 1 so far is, and I don't even know if I'm gonna do anything till maybe after a first, you know, kind of, because yeah, mouse and keyboard feel, you know, is aiming better? Could there be a slightly different meta somehow? Stuff like that. But I'm curious to know how many people are going to play mouse and keyboard compared to controller players.
I feel like there'll be some who do it for the memes and others who will just find a way to be absolutely like cracked with it, but like overall it's mostly going to be just like game controller of some sort.
I have had people come in. There was actually somebody yesterday that was asking. This is actually not a PC related question, and Matt, you might be able to answer it. They were asking, do you still stream the game through the remote play on your desktop or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, because they were asking if the PlayStation controllers work when you're doing the remote play or whatever.
Yeah.
And I told him like I'm pretty sure they do because that's how Magnum streams, and I know he uses the controller. And I believe on Steam you could just plug the PlayStation 4 controller to your computer, and it works, right?
Sometimes, depending on the game, you might have to get rid of the PlayStation tag through some software, but yeah. So some games it won't actually find it, but if you just there's a few programs out there that are pretty quick. The one I use is like DS4 Windows, and you just get rid of the DualShock tag. So it's just like you've just got a random gamepad plugged into your computer now. So that's how I do the push to talk at the same time. But yeah, I mean that's how I do it, remote play, and it works just fine. A little bit of lag, but I'll take it. But yeah, if nothing else for the network test, we can go ahead and hop into the actual suits and stuff and get closer to current stuff and things.
They're so
but yeah, I can't wait for the actual network test. But please make sure it works before you do it.
I mean, hopefully
that's all I'm
we hear
saying.
some news about it at all soon.
Yeah. I'm curious to at least know some news for this month, because it sounded like in their notes before that we'd be actually getting possibly released or something with more monthly quests this month. So it's like, oh, but okay. So, let's see. We're looking at previous suits. Any previous suits specifically you guys would like to talk about? We got the Mark III, Full Armor Mark III, the Rickdom Stutzer, the... Wait, what else? Did I miss one?
I mean, regular Stutzer.
Oh, I guess, yeah, that works for the Zaku. Or the... Oh, modified Rick Deja. There we go, the Raid. Whoops, I forgot about the Raid, my bad.
And then, of course, the ReZEL. Now, that being said, out of those, the only two that I have is the Zaku Stutzer and the ReZEL itself. The rest I have been very unlucky and haven't been able to get yet, so...
So yeah, what do we think about the, well, I guess the one I want to talk about is the, Dom Stutzer is pretty nice. Specifically for meme reasons. Because my alternate name for it is the Dom Pooper.
Very classy.
Oh yeah.
I think the most notable change adjustment is going to be already in the patch notes that we talk about later with the White Dingo.
Oh yeah, right.
Bastard. So sad.
Oh man. But yeah, the as far as just my base thoughts, if you guys want to add anything, go ahead. But the Full Armor Gundam Mark III, pretty solid support, looking good. What do you think of the new Rick Deja emblem? Did you get that at all, or?
Of course not.
Reap.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like, it seems to cover the bases on like what you need. Multiple stuns. It had like the usual defensive skills for a raid. It seems good. I believe it has. I think it had multiple band-aids. I have to look again.
Yeah, it does. It has two beam sabers. It's pretty much a DJ with like GM3 powered GM3, whichever dual sabers, and also the skill for tackling and then meleeing. I mean, I just like that it kind of has a shotgun kind of thing for a raid. That's kind of interesting at a higher cost. But other than that, we have the Stutzer, both Zaku 2 and the Dom. Zaku 2 was in clan ranked a lot, actually.
Indeed, it was. In fact, yeah, that was pretty much the staple for that cost range.
I could believe it. The Stutzer is crazy.
The Rigdom Stutzer as well is pretty insane, actually, too. The mines are like, what's really cool is I saw a video of somebody getting like top of the boards and clearing it with not using a single bomb in the game. So that's pretty nice. Like, it's just got a nice base kit, or if you want to do its gimmick, which is what I did, I still cleared the board. So
I think there is just like a really good set of people who are just kind of ridiculous with DOMs or Scooty types like that. So like having extra tools and stuff just made it all the better for them.
oh yeah, the punch is insane. The bombs, like, what's really cool is if you have somebody get down next to a wall, you can just go right next to that wall and just poop out bombs, and that's 2,000 to 3,000 per bomb just coming out, and you're just like boom, 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 boom. And you know, you can't stun your teammates. You know, it looks a little weird just to be like, I'm backing into this wall right now, but it's crazy damage to raids. And what's really funny is if they decide to swing at you or anything, you can just pretty much make them run away. Is the best part. So like, I'll if I downed a raid, I would just switch to the bombs, and as they're standing up, I would just put the bombs all around them, and so they'd be waiting to hit the ground. And if they tried to swing at me in response, they just died. So it's like, okay, you get to melee me once, but you did.
That's all you're gonna get.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Rocket Punch.
Yeah, and then the rocket punch is amazing. But yeah, just the bomb thing, I definitely wanted to just point that out. Being able to just maneuver armor, boost, leave some bomb trails. Though it was really funny watching people put bomb trails out when they're the one leading the charge in like the NASCAR meta, because like their teammates were just running into them and just blowing them up, so you know they weren't getting left behind. So, oops. But especially during the week that was the main suit, it was pretty hilarious watching 3 or 4 of them on a team just dropping bombs all over the place. Like, I would see them floating, I'd be like, was that my teammates or was that the enemies? Well, I'm about to find out. Boom. Okay, that was the enemies. They wouldn't chuck my health. My bad.
And that was a rough week. Supports needed to have poop bags for their leaky generals.
Yeah.
Gotta
Oh
clean
my
up
god.
after those things, man.
Gross.
Taking a drink. Ah.
Magnum was a prime offender.
Yes,
What?
he was. And he was
I
doing
don't-
that
I
during,
don't-
he was shitting all over during customs. Insane.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Disgusting.
I love that suit. I will say that's one of the most fun suits I've played in a long time. But
Dude, to see her. Bring me my brown pants.
oh man. But yeah, I love like just waiting around the corner and just plopping out bombs, and then like the raid or whatever comes at me, and I just like dodge roll away, and he's like, "Oh, I got you now!" Boom, and he runs into all the bombs and just explodes. Good, it's real good. Or he just walks around them, and I'm like, "No, you were supposed to walk in. I laid a trap."
I think we just need to make a petition, speaking of mines. Just make the Gian mine a missile, or like a bazooka, please. let's just cut all the cute stuff out. We're not gonna give it force injector. Let's just turn the mines into a bazooka.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, let's make the suit playable.
Or at least turn the fucking
Stun
nail
rate.
missiles or whatever into like a shotgun or something.
Yeah, or
Ooh,
some
yeah.
kind of stun
Because in
rate or anything.
every other game they come out all together, or they come
Oh,
out
yeah, that would
rapidly
make
enough to like accumulate stun. And I think they
Yeah,
tried to
just-
up the threshold a little bit, but it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, they could just make it the G-line shotgun. Like, actually would be a lot better because you stun a couple hits.
Hmm.
People actually play the suit outside of PvE at that point. But I digress. That's just something else. But yeah, the old stuff or whatever seemed fine. Most of the suits I released seem good.
I don't think it was a bad one.
For their problems, yeah.
I think the only bad one was just an underwhelming one, which was the unless we're not talking about the releases are fine, but once we start talking about the weapon adjustments, there's a couple things.
Oh yeah. The release suits is pretty much it. Yeah, we'll go through the buffs and nerfs because technically there is one this time with the white dingo rip. But yeah,
Gustav,
Or I guess it-
playing GBO2?
technically wasn't.
Are you still in a match or anything on
Yeah.
GBO2? Okay. Chad was just asking if the game was down. I thought I could see it reflected in your glasses.
No, yeah, I'm playing.
Okay. Well,
Are none of you playing? Is
not.
that why they're asking, or are they just not able to get in?
they're not able to get in. But I had that problem the other day. Like when I got back from vacation, it took me like 30 minutes to actually get into the game.
Okay, the ReZEL. Gustav, you actually got this, right?
I did.
So what do you think of it so far?
It's kind of so-so. I feel like I need more time with it, to be honest, because like it has a lot of kit on it, and the fact that it has variable fire between like its shield beam and the other stuff when it's actually flying is really cool. But I've also been running the Shiki Kai really hard at its cost, and I feel like in a lot of situations, I wouldn't say that does more by comparison, but it still feels a little bit more put together, and just the combos and things that you have to do are a little more obvious. Because even though I do like transformables, I haven't done them as often. Most of the main more, I guess, not necessarily meta, but just the things that I'm more used to running all the time for like rated and stuff really don't involve stuff like that.
I know it essentially has the Zetas combo, right? So it has the
Yeah,
you either
so
beam
regular
and triple
saber into the
downswing.
beam spear, and then you can just like do neutral downswing and then switch over to the other one, or unless you can just alternate it for the downswing just for the extra reach.
Yeah, it should be able to get the triple downswing combo going on.
I
But
feel like if you're doing that, you're just gonna get interrupted by a lot of things.
it feels very Zeta though. It's kind of
It's interesting because at least the night of, there are a few Zetas getting busted out. I don't know if they're just trying to out Zeta that suit or something. It's just like, all right.
Their role was being threatened. I've heard people saying it's the better Zeta.
that's what that's what I was kind of curious to see if any like Zeta mains were like, is this just a
I would
better
assume
Zeta?
that like this is just like a better like Z2 as well. Not that that's hard, but like I wouldn't really say that I've seen a lot of Zetas actively being used either.
Yeah, that's true. The Zetas kind of disappeared a lot of times. As far as the like weapons though, just comparing the Zeta, like the arm missiles, you stun in 2 rather than all of them. So 2 instead of 4 shots. They're exactly the same damage for base damage anyway. Modifiers, I think the Zeta actually has more. You have better beam defense and melee defense, which is what a lot we have these days. You're only 4 ballistic below, I think 500 health below base of a Zeta. Both technically have a shield. Can't remember. I think they're both the same health though. The Zeta has a little bit less base movement speed, but faster high speed. So the only thing is, it seems like it has better just base damage. With everything else, you know, most of the weapons are pretty much the same damage, so that's not that big of a deal. But you have an extra weapon, and I think the arm missiles being easier to hit makes it a whole lot more consistent. So just on that alone, and just the standard combo you would do with the Zeta, I think you can pretty much do that. And its transform mode, I think, is a whole lot better because your shot actually just straight up stuns rather than being either the main beam or a pew pew laser.
The fact that both of them stun and then you get like a 3 burst on the charge for the shield that all stuns, like, that's nice.
Yeah, that's why I think it's kind of better in that regard. And it can actually fly for long periods of time, unlike the Zeta that, you know, just gets around a little bit and then you gotta get back out. But that was pretty much my take on it. It just kind of looks like a better Zeta for the most part. But at the same time, it doesn't really seem to have that much more damage. I mean, I guess again the shield has a bit of damage with the burst or the 2-second stun. So I guess that, you know, you have an extra stun you could throw out kind of thing as well. So that, I guess that is kind of... Oh yeah, and it doesn't have biosensor though. That is a good point.
Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind is that, like, both of its consecutive stun things while you're neutral, like, you gotta do 6 shots for the shield to actually get the consecutive. And honestly, that's a little slow considering how fast they come out and the missiles as well. But you do have the option to charge it as well, so you can actually lead in with that, move onto your rifle, and just... I feel like there's just a lot of things that they want you to be able to do, but, like, it starts to get limited by the obvious rotations that you should be doing instead.
Yeah, it seems like it's like, just play like the Zeta instead of using the extra stuff. I am curious to know what the damage is full charge, but you said it was 6 shots to actually get a stun with the...
Just the burst. If you're doing the actual, like, stun or just the full charge, and it stuns anyway, so... And it's actually, the charge isn't that slow. Or isn't it, yeah, it isn't that slow.
Oh yeah, and then its ram attack is around 3k damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that ram is pretty
the
good.
Boop of death on this thing.
I think it kind of feels like it'll be doing kind of like mid-range, just kind of like stun loops on you, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But I think it looks fine. I haven't had a chance to play against it too much, just because Banner Night and responsible bedtime and work and all that good jazz. But the suit looks pretty good to me. I think we'll definitely see more of it for sure. Because the death seems like a good follow-up would just be like after a knockdown, you maybe just turn into a plane, shoot them with whatever your main gun is, and just pop them for 3k.
Yeah, like at that point, a lot of the consecutive stuff, because especially like the missiles, even if you're not really going for the stun, it's 1,000 each base damage. So most of those you probably wouldn't even like hunt for stuns, especially on things that have like really high maneuver armor or stun resistance. It'd just be purely to like finish it off. Just because they actually do so much, especially to things that it has a type of advantage against.
I would say this is kind of better with the build-up stun at hunting down raids than just the Zeta too.
I wouldn't count on those to do it too much.
Well, the Zeta wrist rockets can stop anything that doesn't have damage control.
Well, this is too, right? Oh wait, no.
This is a 2-shot.
Does the Zeta go to... Wait, Zeta's 35 per missile, right? So you only have to hit 3? Or is it 25?
I'm gonna have to look, but I think there's only 3. If I remember right, there's only 3 in the arm grenade, and if it didn't fall 3,
4.
you build off the stagger. Is it 4? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I could look real quick. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Because I thought it was 4, but if it's only 3 to stun, then whoops.
Okay, it's 45%.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, if you hit with all 4, then you actually have enough to take out damage control 1. And 2? I think. Because then it's 66%.
160, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's actually pretty good. So it still has that over it. I mean, if you stun in 6, then it has the actual other beam. Obviously, you're shooting 2 and then you swap. That's a little much. But if they're not aware of you, assuming that the arm missiles are just 50 each, because I know damage control 1 can't be, by these hand missiles, can't be stopped. So, but if you use the beam, you can stun somebody. So you might be able to get damage control 2 as well. Because assuming if it's 6 shots, then just in 3, you should be doing over 50 at least. So you, or if it is just 50, then that's kind of, but there's a chance.
Yeah. So it might just come down to what you want to play over the other. At the end of the day, that's the beauty of GBO2. You can just play whatever. Like the ReZEL probably is a bit stronger than the Zeta Gundam, because I do think it has a bit, like, just having the extra guns and having more options feels pretty relevant. And at that cost, I feel like there's a lot of poking that goes on. I think that's kind of one of the weak points of the Zeta, is that your poking is a tiny bit weak, and this seems to kind of fill in that that gap a little bit, because it has pretty much Zeta tools and more options on top of the flight mode.
The funny thing is that all they would have to do is just like let the Zeta use the spotters in neutral instead of just being when it's a fucking plane.
Right?
Where are those whenever it's a normal suit? Because, like,
I always assumed they were still in the arms, but are they actually like on
Are they
something
the arms?
else?
because I thought the arms were like folded up or whatever. Like, I'd have to look at the thing, but I thought it was like in the chest somewhere or something.
I know in this they are in the chest, or they're in the center, because you can see the hands in the animation and stuff.
Sure. Yeah, because I thought, like, you know, when it's in Wave Rider mode, there's like little flaps, and those come out of the little things on the side or whatever. If you can see my hand motions giving it, saying exactly where it comes from. Where's my? I need a Zeta model kit. I'm slacking.
I don't know if someone can confirm or not.
Either way, though,
I'm trying
this
to
is
take a look.
one of those things like, you know, Double Zeta finally getting its cannons kind of situation, maybe.
Except on a whole ass suit.
Right?
Let's see, regular as Zeta.
But I don't know. I was curious to know if this was 50 above. I forgot what the base cost of the Zeta, and then I realized this is the same cost. I'm like,
Oh, okay, yeah, it is. It's the you know how other Zetas had the lumbar beams or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's still in the flaps, it's just that when it's neutral it can't flip them forward.
oh, okay.
Okay, that makes
So
sense.
it's only in the transformation mode. That makes more sense.
Okay, that works. That checks out.
But you know, if we want to add another weapon to it for balance,
That'd be
things,
amazing. Just
have
make
it-
those movable. Oh my god.
just have it spawn out of its chest, just center mass.
Well, no, I'm just saying, have them be able to flip forward like the other ones do.
Oh yeah, there you go. Our other option is we had our pal Leona make some adjustments to the suit.
It's almost like we
Yeah.
have specifically a Hangar that is always adding things and actually still can have OC suits.
Yep, that's the
Right.
beauty of being a video game. Espionage works miracles on suits in Super Robot Wars. Let's get Leona.
Oh my
to
god,
work.
that man's a fucking monster in Super Robot Wars. Jesus
Oh, yeah.
Christ.
Oh, there's a noticeable downside to your suit. Let me just fix that real quick.
I think the only time he's ever particularly been stunt is maybe with the Black Hole engine and then what was it, Bottoms? just because his suit was so fucking scrapped. Cheetah goes like, I don't care. It's a pilot, whatever.
Yeah, that dude's a wizard in Super Robot Wars, man. Like, Astronaut probably could have made suits himself. Like, oh, you got to control gravity or some shit. Like, give me just 1 second. I don't have to worry about losing control of your suit anymore. Like, what did you do? Like,
I think we got a grav engine in here somewhere. Don't worry about it.
Let's put some spit on it.
Ain't got no gas in it.
Come on, Leona.
As far as skills, I guess to mention those, I kind of mentioned the stats. Part slots 15, was it 19 and 10? And then evasion is mainly, it just has 1 dodge roll. And that was pretty much it. No biosensor. But it does have Force Injector 2, and it does have isn't it the good fly program, so it can actually fly for a decent amount of time.
You need to do all the transformable flying suits. It's a crime that the Zeta doesn't have that.
Right?
Yeah, they need to stop busting the transformable support spells too. Like, I'll give them that much.
But yeah, overall seems to be pretty solid.
I do love the idea that, like, even though they call it the refined Zeta, if you're talking about just having a more refined, like, simplified kit, it's still just the Zeta because it came out first.
Pretty much.
You gotta pay
Oh, the Vulcans. Are the Vulcans actually any good, or are they just
They're regular ass Vulcans.
Okay, rip.
Yeah, and I don't have any, like...
I don't know how they get it right with, like, 1 or 2 in Stardust Memory and, like, maybe a couple that use those, and then just the rest are like, nah, we're just gonna use subpar ones, so whatever.
Vulcan technology gets destroyed after a suit is successfully made. Can't let it get spread around, you know?
Makes sense, checks out.
That's what the Dark History is actually about. Reclaiming Vulcan tech.
The great
I guess kind of the last thing to mention about this suit then, if we don't have anything about the, kind of gameplay or balance of it or whatever, it's Unicorn.
Unicorn!
And, I mean, I think we've got other Unicorn stuff, probably, at this point, for sure. I know, obviously, the really early ones that people like to pick out. But, yeah, I think this is a big sign that Unicorn is coming for Anniversary. I'm calling it. That's my vote.
Ends up being High Noon instead.
I'll take that too. But I feel like this is a good sign of that. But anything else with this suit?
It looks pretty good. If you're looking for a solid general, I'd say roll for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's some nice half-off steps right now, too.
It's a little awkward just because, like, it came on an off cost for clans, too, so there's not going to be a lot of, like, crazier, like, sweatier examples of it being run outside of just maybe some really good rated matches. So I'm kind of curious to see where it ends up lying after we get into another, like, 600 cost one for that.
Okay, so next on the list, we got the new weapons. Go ahead and skip to there. So for this, we have the Jiwagu's new missiles, the rocket grenade for the Dewaj and the Dom Tropin, the Vulcans that are bad for the Gogu Marine Commander type, but it technically has those. But I mean, you have other stuff you could probably finish stuff off with if you're playing it right. Which I am curious, or I was curious to see if they were going to add them in the patch notes. go ahead and spoil the GM or Goku Marine Commander. Yeah, it didn't really need anything good. So, like win rate and damage wise, it was already popping off at pretty much every one of its costs, which was kind of interesting to see. I'm like, is there just like some group of people that's just carrying the suit?
For the commander too is kind of odd because again that's another one that I don't see very often at any of those costs.
Oh, well then too. Once I like when I try to play it, I normally get a "Are you okay?" every now and then when I play it at higher
like
cost.
people like generally it's a mixed bag, leaning more towards negative. So it's like where is this happening the most?
Yeah, so that was
Is
that
it
was
just
kind
at
of
higher end? But even so, I feel like they'd be even more vehement about you not running it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, wait a minute. What if I can get away with this now? Let's go. And then the Harpoon Gun can be used on the GM2, which...
That was really fun.
Like, is it better than the beam rifle, or is this kind of more of a preference kind of situation?
I mean, BR has rough cooldown and not great heat. So there's literally no reason to use it now.
Oh, okay. So this is completely superior.
It is trash. By comparison, is doo-doo.
That was something that I didn't really use, and I'm just like, meh. So the main two...
Team? What is happening? I'm a bishop with 2 striker customs, a Nero trainer, and a VG. What the fuck?
Seems legit.
No, it doesn't. But striker custom is something that we will be talking about later.
Yes. Yes. I'm
Which
kind of
is probably
scared,
why
but
they're
also
both trying
excited
to
about
run
it.
it. Oh my god, it hurts me.
Pretty much. So I guess we'll talk about the grenade here. I don't know if you guys use the Joagu stuff yet. Did you try that out at all?
I did, and it's really cool.
So the damage is higher.
The aesthetic is cooler. Oh my god, I wasn't expecting that. That's not little tiny missile. That's a fucking. It just looks like cannons coming out of its hands now.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is like a Gatling cannon gun thing.
What the fuck's
I'm
that
like,
about?
they said so you could do a barrage, and I'm like, yes, intensify.
They weren't kidding. They weren't kidding at all.
It feels like the impact isn't quite the same, but it feels very similar to the anti-air gun.
Yeah.
But it's kind of weird. The gunfire shots, it's like pop, 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 pop. I don't know. It's like you're firing missiles.
Yeah, that's what was a little weird
stop
about it.
about the missile part. Those are just cannon shots.
But the my thing though is it stuns in 7 hits if you're hitting with both projectiles. But the other missiles stun in, I believe it was 4 hits, and you got 12 shots. They have bigger splash radius, so you can just shoot the ground and hit people. So these you have to hit pretty much directly.
I've heard him compared to a machine gun, which I think is a really good comparison to it. Pretty much just straight out the booms for an MG.
Well, yeah. The only thing is you don't have ASL, so you have to actually properly aim. Like, you mentioned the anti-air gun. Yeah, it's pretty much that.
Huh?
Yeah, pretty much that.
Shooting game impossible.
So yeah, well, controller, man. Ugh. Give me that mouse and keyboard, quick.
Never
Please,
in this game ever.
please, mouse and keyboard, please.
Trash. Garbaggio.
Mouse and keyboard, please. But yeah. So I'll probably use that on mouse and keyboard if I get it for that. But right now the aiming thing felt pretty bad.
I didn't have much problem with it. I heard other people saying they were having trouble tracking, but to me, whenever I was using it, unless they were moving, if I like beamed somebody and then followed up on them with the rockets, they seem to fly pretty true to me.
Well, yeah, that's fine. Like if somebody's getting knocked down or just shot, and then you kind of combo a few shots into them. My thing is when they're boosting left to right kind of thing, and you're just like, I get time to aim. Like that's my issue. But if they're like coming at you, it actually stuns pretty well still, just like the missiles did. So it, you know, they're pretty strong in most of the situations, and you know, you could just like if somebody's getting knocked over and you're like, "Ha, you're stunned, getting knocked over. I'm gonna start just do, right? You know, just." And then they're on the ground, just start shooting into their legs. I mean, it's 24 shots, pretty solid.
So I asked Gustav about it a little bit yesterday, but I know you were recuperating, so I didn't get a chance to ask you. And I'll rephrase it, since I feel like whenever I ask if this should have been a sub-weapon, people think that means that it's like a negative. But do you think that they should have made something a sub-weapon for the Juagu? Because I just don't know if this weapon itself makes the Juagu like more playable. I noticed that they increased the damage. I think it said.
Yeah, so technically it's more damage. I'm not exactly convinced it's more damage a second, but it's more damage for the overall volley, and then you got to start reloading. So
they also adjusted the. So they made the triple rocket launcher stronger, which I don't know if they mentioned this, but the abdominal MP cannon is also more powerful. I don't think I remember seeing that. Maybe it was in the patch notes, so I glazed over it. But like they increased that. But I just feel like
wait, for what?
So the triple rocket launcher got adjusted. Oh, that was an old update. Never mind. I was about to say. Sorry, I saw the thing and the like it was the other one. Okay, never mind. That was a past update. Thank goodness. I was like, man, did they change that too? I didn't even notice.
I was looking at the wrong one.
Think about it. Okay,
Never mind.
there we go. So they just
Bad notes.
Right, never mind.
Okay.
Translated notes.
Because I was like, what? They didn't touch that this patch.
Yeah, that's when
Honey?
I don't remember seeing anything about that, but I guess it's true. Okay, so never mind on that. But I just don't know if the multi-missile was enough to make people play it outside of like, ooh, it's a shiny new toy. I think like they should have given it a third range weapon option. I think it would have helped it out a whole lot.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Like having a replacement, like unless you're just making it better. Like my problem is I want to know, and actually maybe they do show it here. I can't remember if Javagi was actually fully in the. No, it was not. Okay, so they didn't even show the win rate at all. I really want to know the win rate because, like, the weapon doesn't really change the playstyle too much, right? You still, you know, you actually kind of want to get a stun or a knockdown on an enemy before you start unloading at them, unless they're kind of stationary or running at you, and then it pretty much works the same. Like the playstyle doesn't really change that much, so it's like, okay, well, we just kind of got the same thing but slightly different. And you know, I thought it'd be cool maybe if you could move and shoot at the same time, since these are small rockets instead of big rockets.
Yeah,
you could do like move and shoot stuff or something maybe, so that it actually changes the kind of how it plays mostly. But I was kind of hoping for something like that a little more, because really it's, I mean, you stand stationary and you shoot a lot of stuff, and that's pretty much what it does with the missiles. And you're trading the AOE and, you know, ability to aim a little less accurately for a bit more overall damage per volley if you shoot the entire clip into somebody. And I'm not sure if that's exactly worth it, because you're not gaining that much damage on for example, in the practice on 700, the new that spawns and you kill, or wait, no, is that an 01? That might be a GBO1. Either way, you can get about half health. Well, it is half health for the new weapon volley, and you take a little bit more than a third for the old weapon that they had on it. But again, you get splash damage, so you could hit multiple targets at the same time if there's any kind of mosh pit kind of situation going on. So I'm not totally convinced like this is the weapon that saves the Juagu. But if, you know, did the Juagu need any saving?
I guess. Probably, because I don't really see it be used that much either.
It's just because the way I feel about it, and you know, I'm no support player, obviously, but like if they want to keep it this route where, because it's like Magnus said, you burst people and then shoot them while they're down, or catch them with a chest shot and throw some missiles and pistols, and then cash out or whatever. But I think they're gonna stick with that play style. Then they need to do something for it. Like maybe shock dampeners at that cost might be a little bit extreme, but I don't know, because the Jawagu doesn't even have like the crouching stun resist, right? Like I just think it needs something else if they're not going to give it an extra weapon.
Yeah,
because like if one of the two are sub weapon, at least like you have something to do while you're not committed to your general Jawagu combo. But just with two weapons, you're just a one trick. And I don't know. I mean, I guess the Super Gundam just shoots things with its massive chunking beam rifle, but at least it has maneuverability that the Jawagu lacks. Like, I don't know.
I guess the question becomes, if it had that as a sub weapon and it did its initial combo of like stun into missile barf and then was just like, wait, that's not all, and then just came out with this louder ass thing that actually hit harder. Like, would people think that would be too busted? Would they have to scale it down as it is a sub weapon, and it would just be maybe either mainly for output or just doing it for the stun and just trading one or the other?
Personally,
I mean, that's
with the way the weapons are now, they wouldn't even have to make any adjustments. Like, if anything, that's what I was saying. Like, make one of them a sub weapon. Like, just make the current main, like the starter primary, a sub weapon. If people are worried about like the way it looks, but I don't think they would need to change anything about either of the two weapons, and they could make one of them a sub weapon, and it wouldn't feel that weird. But if people are really worried about subs being better than like mains, just make the 3 missile a sub weapon, and then like the problem's already solved because the tubes are better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think like you could give it everything as is and let it use all the weapons, and it's pretty much fine. But again, I was gonna say this too. I'm curious again, the stats, and then what was just in chat. It pretty much has the water support like niche just clinched, and at 350, that is your water support, and it really at 400 and 450. 450 is when you get the Zoc. So right now we don't really have a water support that, at least at 400, you can maybe use the best worst.
Oh god,
for its
maybe
its
not.
radar.
No, do not.
But I mean, well, I mean that's
not. I guess when we talk about it being the top water support, though, like, how relevant is that?
Well, I mean,
like, how often does that map
health
come
bars.
in terms of? No, I mean, how often does it come up in like map rotations without it having to be on random, or it doesn't get used for clans? So I guess it would be just for people whose frames don't die from going on military port, or maybe because like the old port Soggy doesn't get used that much either, and you think that would be like the least egregious one out of the group.
And that's why I'm curious.
It's like a miracle that jungle has actually gotten thrown on a couple times when I've been around, but like, I don't know, maybe earlier in the day it's more common. I don't know if there are people who play at different times who might be able to confirm stuff like that, but like, I don't know if that's really that big of a deal in terms of being a title for that suit. So like, having the extra stuff just so that it can continue doing its job for a little bit longer probably wouldn't be that bad.
But I'd really be curious to know which map that they're like. If they just took the data outright, there's probably only people playing it on the water map, and if they're only playing it on the water map, it's probably more successful than playing it everywhere else. So like, just it's probably, let's just assume it's at average right now on a water map. I would say on ground map, like, you're 10% less effective than average, or maybe even worse with that suit. But let's just say 10%, and then maybe on the water map, maybe it's doing better than average. So they're just like, we can't add anything else. Like that's I'm just really curious to know the data and on what maps, because I would bet people are pretty much, unless you're just a Jawagu main, there's probably some of them out there. You're probably not playing this on anything else for most players other than water. I mean, that's the only time I pull it out is when it's 350 water, which I haven't seen that in pretty much, like Gustav said, I haven't pretty much seen that in forever. Like that map, can't think of the last time I've seen that unless it was on the random ground one, I think. And even then, I'm doubting that a little bit.
There are other suits that deserve it more, but I kind of want to see someone be like, "That's what you're sticking with? Yep, that's my man. I'ma stick beside him," like that meme. And just put that on while you're looking at the Joagu itself.
Joagu's
As the
pretty
Joagu mains be like,
get behind that.
But yeah, I'd like to see something else done with it. Maybe add ASL to it. But other than that, it's cool that they're adding things. Maybe it gets moved to. I mean, at this point, I don't think that we get moved to a sub weapon because people's paying tickets for it. But
yeah. But I love the presentation of that gun in general. That's just really cool. Very.
oh yeah, it was
intensifying.
definitely pretty nice.
Like I was legit surprised. Like, oh, all right. Even if it's not better, I'm gonna keep it on just for that.
Yeah, it was definitely kind of fun playing around with it. I didn't get a game with it, sadly, because we had like 500, I think, when I was playing earlier today. But it was
You
pretty
can
fun.
get it now. There's 350, but it's just also ground random. So good luck.
You guys ready? Then the next weapon that is big, and this is huge, I think.
This one was really
The
fun.
grenade, the
Yeah.
rocket hand grenade is disgusting.
Oh yeah, it's
Stupid.
really really good.
So, yeah, pretty much you just throw it, look, and wherever you're looking is going to get hit. It is.
Might be you.
Yep, sometimes you'll just whip yourself in the ass with it. So don't go too crazy. That being said, you gotta try pretty hard. It's more so like be careful of where your friends are strafing, because if you misalign yourself from where you originally throw it, it won't just go forward. It will whip and curl down and then whoo, and then go. Which means whatever height it was at, it'll actually be like at like suit height, depending on where you actually threw it from.
When I was speculating in the newsletter, I wish you could throw it a bit farther. It's kind of weird when you throw it. It doesn't seem to like want to like has a little bit extra like gravity weighing it down.
Like in the thing, they threw it up because it was going to track, right? So I guess that was the general idea: is you're getting more height than you are distance.
But like but man, does it? It's pretty much just like your rocket launcher distance for its actual like going and getting somebody. Like it's pretty much just another rocket that you're shooting at somebody. You just throw it instead.
It's so cool.
But like the whip around though, it was the best part. Like I was really hoping that it whips around like it does. Since it does, that is amazing. But yeah, there's only good things I can say about this. It's really awesome.
That being said, if you're trying to use that height to your advantage, make sure that you have enough clearance from where you're at, and try to stay in line with it so that it doesn't whip down and like smack the hill or whatever it is you're behind. But otherwise, yeah, it's just a matter of like getting an idea for how that tracking works depending on your position, and then just going from there.
I think we're gonna have some cool trick shots come out of this.
Oh yeah, people have already been doing demos and stuff, and it's really cool.
Yeah, but I definitely think we'll be seeing more of the Tropin and the Lodge again, and just because that weapon exists, like it's really good.
Yeah, I think this also the Tropin. I guess we'll talk about it getting buffed a little bit. It also got some actual range damage buff too, so that's really nice, and I think a little health. So yeah, 10%, yeah. Plus having this is like a nice consistent stun you can get with, you just go right into the rocket and then you get your Sturmfaust and everything. So Tropin's looking pretty good, pretty juicy. It was definitely fun to play around with that. Also, like, I was swapping to the MMP80 and just shooting at the target, and then the grenade would kind of just go and it's stun while I'm machine gunning. So there's a lot you can do.
I think raids might have to run some ballistic defense. I was seeing some gameplay, and the Tropin's missile on a raid. It's like a mini heavy attack. It's just so much damage.
But What do you think this brings the dewage kind of back again?
Kind of, and in some cases, depending on who you're talking to or who tends to use them at the cost that it's available at, kind of never let, and this just kind of makes it more gross.
Yeah. I mean, I never played a dewage a lot, but that was just because I never played a lot of the floaty suits that much, because I still have an awkward time in them, at least at lower cost. I feel like floaty suits feel better at high cost to me, but the drift tow or whatever at the lower
They
cost.
definitely like react a bit faster, so you're not fighting it as much.
Yeah, but I think that the Dewage has always been like a pretty solid pick, along with like the IMO.
I mean, as far as like the kings, I guess that kind of were there. The Doulahan was huge till it got nerfed, and then the I think the Red Rider has kind of taken the spot there for the most part.
Yeah, and to a certain degree, it probably still will.
But I think this I mean, I think this makes it a contender.
Oh yeah,
almost,
for sure.
For
like
the top. That's
people
my
who
point.
already haven't practiced with like the people have gotten it so fast where they are legit just canceling out of like parts of the animations for the big X swings and shit. So like having an extra stun to work with or just extra finishing damage, like that's gross.
Hey, I'm curious. Is there a way to like? Could you swap to the tomahawk? Throw this in the air, swap to the tomahawk, and just like at the same time, tomahawk, boom, smack.
That'd be possible. Like you talking about after a knockdown?
No. Like
lead in with it.
lead in, just throw the grenade in the air, swap to the tomahawk, and just downswing. And then will it hit fast enough to?
People are definitely trying it. Some people are just doing raw.
Like boost at somebody.
Probably against a support. I don't see it working against a general. I think they would roll.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah,
just
I mean,
dodge roll.
at that point, you
Yeah.
also have your backup plan for the Flash as well, which you should probably have on, just ready.
Yeah, that is. Ooh, that is pretty gross. Like that is. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna have to play me some dewage. Let's go. On any map that's where I can't play raid GOG, because I'm just loving the GOG at 300 to 400 right now. But yeah, if I can't play the GOG, I'm gonna be definitely trying the dewage if it's like on a map that's too big.
There you go. Get your tomahawk out.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else with the weapons? I think the two new weapons are pretty fun.
I think they should give the grenade to the Jalagu.
That'd be amazing.
Oh,
That'd be funny as hell.
I don't know
how does it
throw it? But
how does it throw it though?
It just dunks it out of his fucking hand. It's
You
just an extra
start,
thing
you just start
do.
shooting. You shoot 6 of them at
You
the
just
same
hear
time.
thunk, and then it's just a bunch of them. Actually, yeah, that would be really cool. Like Tri-Blade level, they just puts its hands up for a second, thunk, and then they just start going. Oh my god. I want that.
That'd be cool, actually. Yeah, it's just like a tube launcher sound, and there's just like 6 of them.
But yeah, there's a clip from Omiya that I found on Twitter
Safina.
that's doing some stuff with the dewage, and there's like 2 of them, and it's disgusting. Like you just see the missiles zoom in after they go up from doing it from elevation and then zooming down at someone too, actually not bad.
Oh yeah, like on mountain.
Or like in this example, it's City Ruins, and
City
they
Ruins,
just
yeah.
fucking on that little like building ramp on one of the midpoints.
It zooms so fast too. That's the thing. You just like throw it, and you're just like, I want you to be hit. Boom, boom. Let's see. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started on the ratings change, though, if we have nothing else for the new weapons, and then, yeah, then we'll go into the event and talk about what we thought about the Spring Festival. So,
Change. Are you talking about the rival adjustment?
yes, I'll say rival. Yeah, do that. There we go. Okay, rival change. So I'll go to pull that up on the screen, pre-adjustment and post-adjustment. I like their little diagram here. This kind of makes more sense, I think, to a lot of people than what they kind of did in the newsletter post.
Yeah,
Did they post the official new version of it?
Yeah, there's a pre-adjustment and post-adjustment, so they actually show the if you're 100 points above, or if you are below your rival 121 points, is -7. Now it's if you're below at all, it's just 0, and if you're above 1 to 59 is 1, which 59 before was +3 if you managed to get that high. 60 to 89 is +2, which would have been up to 5. And plus 90 and above is now 3, which before was 6 and 7. So now you can only get 3 max. So if you were averaging +6, now you can only get +3. If you're averaging, +4, then you might be getting +2. But if you were +3 and under, it's now +1. But there's no extra minus, so you can't lose any extra points. You can stop yourself from losing some points, or you can gain up to 3 extra points. So that's kind of the big change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but if you guys,
easier for people to climb.
But yeah, if you guys want to talk about that real quick, I got dog aggro real quick. He wants out.
I mean, generalization is just like stings a little less when you lose, especially if you're on a rough streak, and means you're not going to be climbing quite as fast, but it still shouldn't be that bad,
Right.
depending on where you are rating wise, because of course they scaled that, but they didn't scale the thresholds and actual points per rating. That's all the same. So
Yeah, so I know with like A
Oh my
plus
God.
and S minus, a loss is pretty much the same as a full win at that point. So, which I guess, like, on the other hand, they still want it to be kind of like tough to climb. They want you to have like a positive win-loss
Mhm.
to be able to go up. But it probably averages out or is better overall with removing so much of the loss penalty. But it'll be interesting.
as a side note, I was just talking about how often they show up, but military port is actually at 300 and rated right now.
Ooh.
Weird that it's 300 and not 350 for the Jiwagu stuff, but it's there.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys went through the win loss. I've been my thing is I've been complaining about it just being a thing in general, like in most actual rank systems and
It
games.
just doesn't
Like
work that way. Yeah.
yeah, whenever they've tried something, because the thing is you can kind of game it a little bit. Like the original one, I gamed the crap out of it. I just treated it like ranked, and I would just bully people. You know, you're about to take my kill, I'll kick my teammate over, and then I'll take the kill, kind of thing.
Oh,
So-
toxic Magnum.
I mean, I want to climb. They made the game. If I'm gonna climb, I gotta knock my teammates over. That's just what the game tells me to do. I'm just playing the game. So, but you know, then
The others must fail.
the standard deviation thing happened, so that made it a whole lot better. But then there was still some ways to kind of game certain things to, you know, at least go to like 0 or not get as high of a, or, you know, don't lose as much, but you know, have a chance to get a few more points
Yeah.
just about every time.
Well, as much as people hate on the mode and stuff, right? That's one of the other reasons that they switched up ranked as well to just doing brawl as opposed to a team thing, because it's like you're fighting on two different fronts when you're trying to do individual performance in a team-based game. So
But yeah, I think this is better, especially since most of the time you're going to be just getting +1 point, looks like. Whereas even with the standard deviation thing, you were
yeah, the threshold's
getting
huge for that. Like
3 or
holy
4.
shit.
Yeah. So like now you're 3 or 4, you might get lucky and get 2.
Now I feel
So-
like that's gonna be where some of the frustration comes in. People who consistently maybe get top ratings overall, who typically do best their rivals, are probably gonna be a little annoyed at that. But conversely, when they do get docked, enter molding in a game, it's not going to be as bad when they lose. So I don't know. You still have to consider all the scaling and stuff for different ratings, but it still won't be as bad overall.
I mean, again, any of these performance systems, it's like, you know, the reason why fantasy football works with people picking whatever is because you're not playing for yourself.
Yeah. As a collective.
So.
Like, there's 2 raids on the team.
But yeah. Pretty cool change. Definitely a big fan of that.
Raids.
Next we have the
Make it 3.
Hangar event and Spring Festival.
There's 3 raids. Oh,
Are
stop
you ready to
cursing!
make it 4?
Stop fucking cursing me! No, it's on the enemy team, not my team. I'm the support. Oh.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a good adjustment. Did you all see the post that they made on the GBO Twitter? They advertised Vion's little tutorial video for the Hangar system as well.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool.
Who's?
Vion's.
Vion?
Oh, okay, yeah.
If you haven't already, like and retweet it or whatever.
Where's my Twitter? Hang on.
Oh god, social media time.
The Hangar event. Oh, I didn't actually pull it up. Whoops.
Damn it.
×3 for great success rate. So it's just the base though. So it's 30%. Then whatever percent you get for playing a suit a ton of times is added onto that, and that is your total percent for the time that you, or the upgrade that you're going for. Then if you get duplicates of a suit, you get up to 3 times, or you get 3 times the enhancement points for duplicates. I did my 2 half-off spins. I got 2 suits that were repeats, and the rest were weapons.
My favorite things to get.
My weapon shop expanded, but 2 suits got some upgrades, and they were not really that good. For the 2 suits that I'll probably never use, but anyway.
Oh shit.
I will say though, with the Hangar thing where you actually get, you can use multiple completions with your tickets now, so that it's not just, you know, okay, I put it up, use my tickets, okay, completing, and then, you know, it saves time. But also during this event, you know, if you have a 50% chance, you know, you could do either 4 normal successes or you get 4 great successes at the same time, essentially. So once the percentage gets high enough, that's actually pretty nice. So if you've played a suit a ton and you're close to like a 50% chance, like you could do a nice group of like 4 upgrades, and then you essentially you're getting like 4 great successes every time that pops, which is pretty nice. That's actually big. So there are a few suits that I'm going to try that with, but I definitely think with that plus this event, it definitely made it better. Whereas prior to this, you'd be like, you know, as far as like you'd have to do it over and over again with the tickets, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I started and I was like, yeah, this is oof.
This is not garbage.
Before I like the other event before where it was guaranteed you're getting 2 times every time kind of thing, right? So you essentially had a great success, and then if you had a great success, it was 400 points. If you had a howling, it was 600. That just made the tickets.
I was hoping they just increased the base modifier. I actually didn't look at that part. I just saw the times 3. I was like, oh, cool, we're getting times 3 points when we're going to the Hangar. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just a times 3 chance at more points. Yeah, that's why every time I'm like, where did the times 2 points go? Can we get that back?
Really good.
That'd be nice. I'd appreciate it.
But so yeah, as far as just, you know, an end of like a Golden Week event, cool, I guess it's something. But I still like the other one. I guess with the, you know, being able to do multiple things with tickets, it's a little bit better. But But the other thing with this section, I was going to ask you guys what you thought about the entire thing itself for Springfest. Did we ever get like tokens with the last Springfest? Or am I completely misremembering that and that was more of like the New Year thing?
Imagine. Actually, shit, I don't remember. Because, like, immediately after this, we're also going to be doing, like... I don't know, I feel like it should still just be more Golden Week stuff. But then Anniversary is going to be so much further away still.
Yeah, so I'm like, I felt like there was more last year, but I could be crazy. Obviously, we could look it up, but...
There's been a fair amount of stuff happening around it as well, so, like, even if there was, I wouldn't be super surprised.
Yeah, and I will say, compared to last year, they're doing stuff both in and out of the game as well, so there's that to consider.
Yeah, I can't find anything.
Chat's saying no tokens, but free 10 spins, which, yeah, definitely free 10 spins.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did have the 4 free 10 spins this time too. So yeah, that was nice.
I don't have tokens, but...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A chance at a chance at a chance.
They know what they're doing. If they give us money, we'll just hold on to it.
That 4-star.
Yet not spending it today. No.
Gotta get that 4-star.
Unicorn Gundam, got him.
Anniversary things? Nah, you're supposed to spend it now. Shut up. No.
Okay.
FOMO.
Limited time only. Oh god, my butt. Get away from me. No. Call the police.
Okay, so the rest of the patch notes, I guess we'll go through just to mention a couple of things. There is no banner for it, but the EWAC Jigen level 2 is now in the game. Kind of awkward to not see a banner.
Yeah, what? I didn't know that. I was joking about us getting that too, and I was like, oh shit, it happened.
So that's the first, I think, new suit that we've gotten a level 2 of that hasn't had a banner with it. So whoops. But it's in there somewhere now. Then we got with the Golden Week, we got a Golden Week banner. Half off first step up, and it goes from 200 bronze to 200 platinum tickets. And all drops are mobile suits at step 4, and 2 times 2-star or higher rate as well. Oh wait, no, that's just 2 times just 2-star rate. Does it say or higher in this? Or it does say or above in the bottom text. So that could be pretty good if you just have a ton of like tokens lying around, but I'm still saving mine, so I did the half off.
Spend your tokens. Don't be a greedy bitch. Do it right now. I demand
4-star. I want my 4-star.
No, you don't. You're not gonna. It's literally less than 1%. You're not gonna get it.
No, I mean I want my 4-star as in.
It's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna get the guaranteed 7-step by saving.
You will not.
Because the enhanced double zeta
it'll be,
out of my
you're definitely gonna get a trap. There's gonna be a trap banner that you're gonna spin for anyway.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be the support that
bet,
I'm like,
fucking bet right now.
Like, I wasted 200 tokens and got nothing.
What have
every time?
And then the next week, what have I done?
Yeah, no, literally, that's what enhanced double zeta. That's exactly what happened.
Shit.
I was like,
yep.
I want the support, and I wasted like 60 tokens. If I wouldn't have, it would have been. I would have been able to get the enhanced double zeta, I think, or it would have been close. But anyway, other than that, the ReZEL has a half-off banner as well. Check that out. Another reminder that they're still banning people permanently that are getting reported.
You shall meet your end.
Then other stuff that we did talk about. Oh, actually, oh wait, no, that's actually here in a second for talking about that. They added a new rank, yay, which means they added more high-cost DP suits, which are kind of meh.
600k each.
Yeah. Again, please stop doing this and do a rank crunch on the DP store because
dig.
a lot of those suits are out of the lottery anyway, so people can't even well for them.
Out of lottery and out of meta in a lot of cases.
You mean you aren't Colonel Magnum? Just buy the suit, lol.
Lol.
I mean, I've already got all 3 of them, but even if I didn't, I probably wouldn't spend the DP. Like with the Dija, the prior one, I didn't spend it either. I just finally got a Dija.
Sure. Like the Red Comet, you can too be a colonel in the Battle Operation video game.
Oh yeah, that's the funny thing. They mentioned yes, you can be a Char as well.
And they changed the font and color for it too, just to
And made it
emphasize
red,
like,
I'm gonna be Quattro Asnable Colonel. Let's go.
good old Quattro as the blaze it. Let's go.
You know, I'm feeling this a bit less these days, but again, rank is essentially proportional to how much DP you have, and again, it's went up by 1%, but 10% of the people were at level 25. So, yeah, that means everybody else has less DP than those people, and yeah, that's kind of awkward.
We're start
But-
grinding.
It's crazy though, because like I could get rid of all the DP I have in like 10 seconds
Yeah.
just buying stuff.
Easy peasy.
Other things than that though that were added was customizing for flying suits. You can now actually, you know, have more than just 4 weapons and do stuff with that. Really cool things.
I didn't notice that one. That's good at the.
That's a kind of a low key one, but it feels like it's more important. Like they probably should have mentioned that a little bit more prominently.
That should have been in the newsletter.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, shit.
yeah, so that's huge. When I noticed that, I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing." Other than that, though, what else we got? Premium suit thing. Okay, Zaku, 3 Kai, the Gabaldi Beta FS, and the Vertex level 1. So Vertex possible free suit if you play enough and get enough of the, you know, recycle tickets when you do spins and whatnot. And then if you well, Zaku 3 Kai. Get your bonsai on.
Banzai.
So shut up and explode.
Then we have the RT shop. The 2 big things here is the GM Sniper Custom ML level 1 and 2, and the Z2 level 1 and 2. That's pretty nice. Juicy ticket shop. Both of those are actually pretty good. I've been seeing a lot of good stuff with the Z2. I'm seeing it doing pretty well. I definitely talk shit on that suit, but
Definitely
when I
dark
see it every now and then,
eyes,
I'm like,
I feel like a
it's
lot of
top of the charts.
people who were kind of looking their chops for the ReZEL, I think, were holding themselves off not only with the Zeta but with the Z2 after they started doing adjustments. And now they can just kind of like, look no further. Here's the thing that you've been waiting for anyway. Fuck it.
Well, when you get all your recycle tickets because you didn't get the ReZEL.
Yeah, you can also
Yeah.
just settle for that. And it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
that's what I did.
Oof.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't hate the Z2. I think it's pretty good at what it does. Especially after they made the update too.
Then they pointed out that in the RT shop is the rapid small rocket launcher. By the way, I bought the level 2 so it could be used on the level 1 and the level 2.
Look at this man being
and-
big brain.
I didn't... Big brain? Where's it at? Oh, no.
He's doing it.
Wrong button.
He's doing no.
Big brain.
Big brain.
Big brain.
Big brain.
Back when my
Um,
red blood is boiling. Thank you.
Ah! Oh, okay, I got rid of it. I'm safe. Beam saber just flies past me. Oh, okay. Oh, I got rid of it. Phew.
Congratulations.
But yeah, the I will say, if you bought all 4 levels of it, that's like 400, 500 and No, 600 tickets. So, yeah. It was 140 for level 1 and 2 and 160 for level 3 and 4. So, oof. But yeah, I just bought the level 2. It works for 2 levels. I'm probably not going to use it at 4. You know, if I have to get it at something, I'm just going to wait for the DP store, I think, at levels, higher levels than that. But, you know, 450, 500, I'll use the Zoc. If it comes to water. In the DP store, we got these. So here's the expensive ones: Toast Rider, HML, and Mark V. I was hoping this might signal the Mark V getting, you know, other weapons or whatever, but that was the other thing. Like, the raid one on this one is kind of meh for 650 compared to some other options.
Mark V plays the game a little too fair. It's fun, but that's about the big problem with it.
So even then, back to the outdated comment for DP store stuff, like, HML is definitely still relevant, Toast Rider is definitely still relevant, but the Mark V, I'm like, for your people who've been playing really long that probably have most of these anyway, this is odd.
I do think compared to its peers for that, I think the Mark V is probably the weakest of the three.
Yeah, I would agree.
I like the other options. Toad's Rider is really good, and I like the HML. It's pretty much a general.
In the DP store, obviously DP store, so the other stuff, you know, that might have been, you know, out-leveled for their levels, cooling on to compare Cheshire level 3 and Zoc level 3, you can try those. But something that is still pretty good, even after it got pretty heavily nerfed, the level 1 and 2 Methus Heavy is now in the DP store, so that's really nice.
Yep, it's withstood the test of time and many slaps to the wrist.
Yep.
Buy that boot.
We'll look at the clan stuff here in a second. The other fixes, I didn't see anything too crazy. Apparently there was some weird paint color schemes with the Dragu where it would like do something with the paint and paint in the mono eye. But yeah, other than that, nothing else too crazy. Let's see, clan rank stuff. Here we go. This and the target shuffle is what I was kind of wanting to talk about specifically.
Big change to the rules.
Yeah, because the main thing is, I know you pointed out plenty of times, Gustav, that it's weird to see target shuffle in clan ranked, and yeah, it has that little RNG effect to it, so that it's not as competitive. But I think they kind of fixed that, which I was curious to see if we had target shuffle coming up, but I guess we don't.
We do not.
Soon.
Not for a while.
So, yeah, so the next, so at least for the next 3 weeks, that is a no. But as far as the new suit, just a reminder, Zaku Diver and Brick A Red for the symbol looks like. Oh wait, is this? Oh no, this is a week old still. I think this is just the English version that doesn't get updated. But yeah, we don't have clan rank for another week actually till May the 7th. Yeah. So yeah, never mind.
It's gonna be a bit.
Mainly the target shuffle thing though. We'll go ahead and talk about target shuffle. The main thing though is the rule changed now to where when on your team you can see who your next ace essentially is going to be, and that's the big deal. And that way you can kind of plan, have them run in and die maybe if they need to, if they're too low, or if you ace the enemy team, go repair them or something and get ready for them being the target. And just having a guy, like, you could literally lose just by having the first one getting it just be like, oops,
and dying.
You're too low, and now you instantly die. And then by the time you spawn, if it's too high of cost, by the time you spawn, it's like you have 5 seconds to go kill the enemy team.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like just then the random switch, it's like, you know, and then you suddenly get picked, and you're like, oh yeah, whoops, now I have 2 health and same thing. But yeah, it's literally it's a little weird, but now not so much. I like it now for a competitive mode. Do you think there's any problems with it, or?
No. Mostly just that it's gonna obviously change behavior once you get close to those switching times. So you can still, if someone's really paying attention to how people are starting to move, they might be able to tell who's gonna be next. Yeah, like that guy's gonna die faster. Well, the suicide thing, that's never gonna change, right? Because even when it was close, it's like, oh, if you're really low and you can't get back to us, just die. People will call out for that all the time. So suiciding, if anything, you would just have to really either assume, which might make people more hesitant to kill at that point, but I feel like that's already kind of instilled in people anyway. But if you see someone who's maybe a little bit healthier, who's suddenly not going in as much to maybe cover people or to do things, or if you see people bunch around another person, or like try to shuffle them back to like base or whatever, especially on smaller maps like Arctic, then it might be a bit more noticeable, and it might cause people to move in with more confidence.
Which I think is ultimately a good thing.
And also, like, if you can actually pinpoint a little bit more, then you'll also know that you can kill certain people without having to worry about them having been the target. So, yeah, that'll be interesting to see. Because at the same time, that mode is still really chaotic. So I don't know how many people are even going to try to have the time to sit back and really like take a look at that kind of body language without most of them either being killed by other teammates or not being able to make the calls in time. So it might just be the same as always, but just with one extra little hint for your own side, which is still useful, but you know. This kind of just feels like if they were going to do it competitively, that it should have just like been this way the whole time anyway, so it was still a necessary change.
But yeah, I guess anything else with the target shuffle stuff? I mean, for me, I just think it's more competitive now, and definitely kind of what they needed.
I mean, you're not going to have to worry about it unless you're either doing clans or some sort of weekend stuff anyway, so it's not going to magically be raided.
Very true. But yeah, I think it's a good change. Target shuffle needed that.
Okay, so next we got buffs and nerfs. Oh,
Something I just thought of in relation to this. On the other hand, do you think something similar in Ace match would be useful? So same idea, but it would tell you who's in content, who would be the next ace. It would calculate the score and let you know who your ace is.
That would just mean people would purposely sandbag. People already do it as an assumption.
Right?
But like people would more actively do it, and if they're in prime spots to actually continue the points flow, then that means that they'll purposely pull back, and you'll be missing other opportunities to keep your lead, and that sounds like a horrible idea. So no, honestly, I'd say leave it out of that, regardless of any cynicism about people's behavior, like, because it's only gonna make it worse, even if it's only a specific situation.
I gotta start throwing.
I gotta suck more. I'm sorry. Because at that point, the hot potato is just more tangible, which means it's gonna be even more frustrating. Because like you're gonna see people physically doing it next to each other, because they know.
You have any thoughts on it, Magnum?
I mean, I'm yeah, pretty much. I'm kind of that guy who would be like, I mean, I'm already like when I play raid, I just don't kill anybody.
Good old toxic Magnum.
Wait, what? I want to be Ace's raid. Forget that, dude. I'm out. So if I'm playing raid, I'm just like, yep, he's on 2 health. Somebody can finish that. All these guys are on 2 health. I'm doing my job. Support, you want to bully me? I'll leave you at 2 health, and then you can kill me. Oh, you're now Ace?
About that,
hasty
champ.
support. But yeah, that's yeah. But I mean, it could be interesting. I don't know. I kind of sort of like the idea a little bit, but yeah, I could see it being a little awkward for the actual game. And it would be kind of funny though, watching it change all the time.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Sal. I could see people bricking worse than they already do if they make that change. So I could definitely feel that.
But anyway, into the buffs and nerfs, we have well, I guess quickly the previous ones. The main thing with all of these is they all pretty much went up. There's not anything that really went down as too much expected. I guess the only one that Imo Zaku looks like its base damage at its base call, or the damage at its base calls went down somehow, but its win rate went up. So that's just a little weird. But everything else was a positive change. Stark Jigen, definitely really cool to see that get a buff. Gundam, Full Armor Gundam Mark II. I didn't think that was going to get help too much, but apparently, sure. Funny enough, it actually died more, which, curious on that. Yeah, how
Just
that
being
worked
more
out.
aggressive, I guess. I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe. Zuda F, where it pretty much gained almost nothing at, level 1. Everything went up, even level 1.
Ta-da.
Free Jaeger got a ton of buffs, and it actually went up. So, yeah, it's looking good. It's pretty much at average, or a little above average on things, which is nice. Could recommend trying that one. Zagok, I think, still needs a ton of help, and while things went up and play rate went up from 2% to 8%, it still is well under average on everything, especially damage, being only 49,000 to 61,000. Oof. G3, pretty good. I mean, yeah. Like, G3 looking good. Dagdaw. Also another one still needing some more help. Yeah, I'm still sad. But also, with these underperforming numbers, there is hope.
Honestly,
Big brain.
I think unless they just shoot us damage up to the like fucking colonies or whatever, Gundam reference, I guess. Unless they get that bitch like a literal dodge roll, I just don't see like what they could change about it that would help it.
Yeah, it's
enhanced double zetas and new Gundams,
It's like give it multiple, like unless they give it one of the big skills, like give it the dodge roll, give it like double tackle at the very least, give it, or do what they did with the mass production Cubulate, just make it vomit damage. I mean, that's why it still works, and the level 2 specifically got a. Actually, I think both the levels. We'll be talking about the mass production Cubulate. It's also getting another buff. So yeah. Also the Dom cannons, both of them, good stuff. Brought up to average or above. Well done. Moving on though into the current ones. Here we go. So this month we got White Dingo. Question mark nerf or just nothing? Because apparently when they changed it, its stats went down.
Yeah, and they're just like, well, that sucks. And I didn't think they would give up on that concept. I don't think that's what caused it.
I liked the concept. It actually made it kind of want to be played more, but they're like, no, you got to stop again. So cool. Sure. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with it. Like, what you guys got any ideas?
Nah.
I like the concept personally. What I guess they're gonna do something else, maybe.
Hopefully. I mean, I hope they just don't leave it at that. After just removing the thing that they specifically added to it to try to make it a little bit more viable. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and I know there's some White Dingo fans out there, so it's just like, well,
fuck it, get wrecked, nerds.
Yeah, they're just like, Good luck, White Dingo fans. We're moving on. Like, ooh,
Like, this thing fucking sucks.
Ooh.
Like, damn.
Sucks to suck. You guys should have aimed better. Next.
Like, imagine if they would have did that for the goof. Just like, oh no, we're gonna roll back that damage. You guys are irresponsible as fuck. No. No down whips for you anymore.
yeah.
You guys are not using it right, therefore it's gone. Like,
parents got mad and it took away the new toys. Like, you don't have to play with it, so you're gonna take it away from you now. Sorry.
But yeah, that was a weird one. So I guess, I mean, they do say they're, I mean, I like how they're like, and if it doesn't somehow get better, then we might look at it again, essentially. It's because it's like, yeah, by putting it back to what it was, where it still had a problem, it's definitely going to somehow magically just be fixed.
that was literally just them shrugging. They're just like, you know what? I can't think of anything immediately right now, so just whatever. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, definitely like a. Oh, I thought that would fix the problem. Guess not.
Whoopsie.
Oh, well.
But, yeah, so next we have the Barzam Custom getting a buff. This is pretty nice, actually. It really doesn't look like it needs that much from the averages. And honestly, I think it's getting a little more than what it kind of needs, but sure. The only thing that it's kind of... Oh, actually, no, that's even better. Literally, just the damage is the only thing lower. And maybe the win rate, but the rival win rate is pretty close. But it gained a high speed movement from 205 to 210, cooldown time from 0.8 seconds to 0.6 on its beam rifle, and then on the grenade, its reload time is 16, and changing to it has been shortened. Also, the beam rifle itself has a 3-second charge from 3.5, which I still think is a little bit much. And it's probably just, you're probably going to just want to keep spamming it, even with the change. Well, especially since it spams faster now.
Mm-hmm.
My question is if you spam it, did you lose a shot? And is it easier to accidentally overheat? But if you still get the same amount of shots, then amazing change. And this is going to actually be kind of insane. But yeah. Have you guys used the Barzam Custom much recently? Or
No.
Recently, no. It always kind of seemed like it was workable for people who just like more flexible kits. It's definitely solid, but it also kind of seemed like it just underperformed in places compared to other things that were like at that range. So
I don't really have a general that I like as much at 500, so I've got stuff at 550 that I like to play.
Like,
but,
550 for me is like Stark Jagan. 500 now that I have it is like Hazel Custom or like the Jetta.
Yeah, if I had it at 500, it would be what I use, because I actually... Do I have the Hazel Custom? I might have the Hazel Custom. I need to start trying that more, I think. But yeah, there's not really a general that I've found that I'm just like, yes. But I know I like this at 550, but I have other stuff that I like now. So like the buff to Mark III where everything pierces, stuff like that. But yeah. Stats wise on the charts doesn't look like it needs much, so I honestly think they did a little too much to bring it above average.
I'd say if they're gonna commit to that, then just leave it there now.
Right. GM and Zaku 2. Big suits, guys. Really big suits.
Oh yeah, powerful. Can't believe
Oh
it.
yeah. Gained some part slots.
They
like
just made them broken now.
7 across the board. Like, that was actually ridiculous. I didn't notice that till I actually hopped on and started playing today, and I'm like, what? That's some part slots, dude.
It's pretty thick.
And now they have Balancer. So now you can have crazy stats in Balancer. Okay.
It's still a little gobsmacked. Just because, like, people have been putting out, like, health builds and stuff, and some of them it looked like they were at, like, 20k plus health and shit like that. Like, what?
Yep. That's the crazy part, because you got so many part slots now that it's... Yeah. You can stack the one to the middle, the top spot, because it's only 5 in the middle, right? And then you got all the Long range. Just straight hell to build it.
They chatted out the the GM and the Zaku.
But yeah, yeah. Level 1, they're ridiculous.
I didn't know the Zaku won any love.
Oh yeah, right. The Zaku one's
Damn,
the
man.
one getting left out, dude. They're like, it's a raid.
Fuck that thing.
Just like
But,
use literally anything else, please.
I mean, I'm there with the Zaku cannon and the GM cannon, so you're not alone.
Yeah, Scudo supports, they're fine.
That one above too.
Sorry, buddy, you chose the wrong category.
Wrong neighborhood.
But so yeah, that was pretty intense. Dom Tropin though, we kind of talked about that already. Yeah, try it. It's a good suit. It's a lot of fun. New weapon.
Yeah.
I feel like this is gonna bring it up to like average and above maybe. Like this is actually pretty big with the health and the damage, flat damage, plus a new weapon. Gelgug Marine Commander, I know I mentioned it earlier, but yeah, looking at its stats, its damage is well above average at its base cost, and then still above, and then just below by like 2,000. It's crazy how good the stats on this are. I'm like, who's carrying this suit, especially at 550 and 600?
It is a little confusing.
But, and how's it getting played? That's my question, because I would love to do that. But that's one I definitely get dodged on.
Teach me your ways.
He's playing that suit. Get me out of here.
Also, back to your question of how has my climb been? Yeah, that's been a lot of it.
He's getting dodged on.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
Look at this man with his throw picks. We gotta put him in a meta re-education course at this point.
Better re-educate. Oh my goodness. Dom Barrage is OP, okay?
I noticed you've been making questionable picks and playing frontline oriented suits with the machine gun. We have come to take you away.
Okay, yes, I do that. Fair enough. I play the machine gun
I'm
on
guilty.
the Dom Tropin, or the
guilty.
Dom
Make me school.
Shooter. Moon Gundam, though, mainly just getting the same change that the Vargul is because of the Vargul beam rifle. But if these are the stats with that, then yeah, the damage and win rate with the Moon Gundam using that
Oh,
specifically,
you stinky.
kinda
You
oof. Curious how this compares to the normal Moon Gundam stats. But I guess the main one to look at is the Vargo itself. So the grenade launcher and the beam rifle is gaining focus time from 3 seconds to 2 seconds. Which we talked about that on how good that is, being 2 seconds anyway, just like on the ReZEL. And 10-second reload to 8-second reload for the actual grenade launcher on it, and switching time was reduced. Other than that, the Vargo got buffers, leg and back, double dodge roll at level 2, and thruster output increase level 2 as well. At level 2. Other than that, it got damage numbers for its Tomahawk and the Butterfly Edge at level 2. And reload time, though, at both for the Butterfly Edge. And heat rate for the funnels, the Pursue funnels, went from 35% to 28%. Do you have this suit, Emblem?
I don't think so. I can look at the stats, though.
But yeah, I was curious if you thought this was enough for it.
And here, real quick, because I totally wasn't playing waifu games on my phone.
Jesus
Talking to
Christ.
Chad about it. Which suit was it again?
Vargle.
Oh, okay, yeah. I don't know. Personally, for me, I do have to suit. By the way, I was just being a bad host and getting distracted by anime booba, but
Booba. How dare.
but yeah, like I think the suit's probably fine. It's a bit weird whenever I play it, just because I want to force it into my brainless bunga style. But like the last time I played it before they buffed it, I was actually playing it right and following up like with the butterfly edge like you're probably supposed to, and using it more like offensively to break through like maneuver armor and stuff, and it felt pretty good. So just the fact that they're adding more stuff, like I think damage like talks in a lot of this stuff, and they increased pretty much everything for the suit. So I could see it coming up and getting some use. Because I don't even know if the Vargoogaloo was like bad per se. I just didn't play it a lot because, you know, I like to have 2 close range melee weapons, not one that I can throw, so I can take people to combo town. So I think the adjustments are really good.
Yeah, I've seen it in like some meta picks as far as like being something to run, especially at level 1. So kind of curious to see that the win rate and stuff was kind of low. And yeah, so it was definitely like, oh, that's in here. Okay, cool. Other than that though, Striker Custom, we mentioned that one earlier. Got some buffs, 1,000 health at all levels. Offense system level 1. Cooldown for its Spark Knuckle from 10 to 8. Cooldown for its Twin Beam Sabers from 3.0 to 2.5 seconds. And then the level 2 power got increased for both of those. And then for Demon Blade system mode, you have speed while activating skill. Oh yeah, okay, that's right. So it's just increased speed, more increased speed, and increased effectiveness of Force Injector. So I guess Force Injector level 2 instead of level 1. Or did it already have Force Injector?
I'm pretty sure it did. I'm not sure. I hope so.
I mean, the suit has Force Injector, but I thought it already enhanced it once. But yeah, maybe I'm crazy. Do you think that's going to be enough to bring it up? I mean, the damage looks like it's pretty close. Level 2 and 3 falling off. But like the win rate is kind of low. And of course, the amount of suit loss is a bit much at level 1 specifically. Because this is more your bunga style, for sure.
Like, the adjustments seem like they should be fine. Because you're going to be able to do a lot of stuff without getting interrupted more. Which really is kind of an issue that you run into when you're running the raid a lot. Where you're meleeing something and you get shot off screen and you get peeled off. Because it's going to force people, if they want to interrupt you, to either tackle or try to hit you with melee. And I don't know, there are a lot of blues that cost that priority 3, so you're probably just going to bounce. But
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Like, at least it forces them to get in there, and they aren't saving the support by, like, shooting you from, like, halfway across the map or something like that. But I think it's a good and a necessary change. Like, that suit was meant to be a kind of like a juggernaut, kind of like the enhanced double Zeta a little bit, and I think that'll help it do its job. May even incentivize people to pop Demon Blade a little bit earlier, because honestly, if you just did a bunch of boost, the output was already pretty nice, and you could pop off on people, so you didn't need to use it right away. But maybe they'll make people more juggernauty, or maybe even less so because the damage output's even better now.
Definitely curious to see if it makes a comeback. After just people trying it out. Because things like, which I mean, obviously this is 50 up, but the Georgia, which also is getting a buff, exist, and damage-wise, at 500 in comparison, it's doing just fine. And the only thing it is it's got some mobile suit loss, which is probably why it's losing to its rival and stuff. But I feel like, if it's surviving more, it's probably going to be doing even more damage. So, yeah, our Georgia gained 1,000 health. Now it has double dodge roll, and it has leg buffer level 1. I feel like that suit's just scary now. Like, I know we have heavy attack suits, but with heavy attack suits even, I feel like the Georgia still has its burst with its triple downswing that's so easy to do. I feel like it's in there. Like, do you think it really needed much of a change?
Absolutely, every raid should be completely broken and overpowered.
Oh my god.
One shot, if not one combo, everything in the game.
Oh
I can't
no.
wait till we get to the,
Oh no.
Also,
All
that
those buffs were
physically hurt me. Even trying to tighten my turns, I just couldn't.
Wait to the Georgia. This is the Georgia.
Oh shoot,
God.
okay, sorry, anime titties. Yes,
Pain.
everything was well deserved. The Georgia was having a tough time.
Stop looking at the
Oh
booba.
my goodness.
Stop
The
looking at
green-
the.
Look, I think because they made a green version, they were confusing the two. It's like, man, I didn't realize the Georgia was struggling this much. We better buff it some more.
Like, oops, my bad.
Which one?
The green one. But yeah, it looks pretty scary now. Just saying, that looks terrifying. Because it has the damage that even without a heavy attack, it's just gross.
Yeah, the Georgia's always been pretty good. I don't mind him giving it more deeps.
We talked about the Dodge, and then this one I get to make fun of. The White Rider got a buff. The only thing significant here in all of this that they have is 150 to 160 damage for its Gatling gun, and stagger ratio went up. I don't know if you have the stats on that emblem, but if you can find that. And then
Give me 1 second.
next is the Mega Beam that takes 20 seconds to charge unless you're in Zeus mode. Went from a 90-second cooldown to 70-second cooldown.
Oh
Wow.
boy. Ooh.
Like, what? Also, they increased the bullet velocity, so, it also is kind of like, what? Because,
One thing to note:
God
overheat
damn,
parts
that was
got
awful.
worse.
Pain.
wait, which one?
Overheat parts got worse because of that on the suit.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much. So, yeah. Which, even
I've got
then,
the
like,
changes for the Georgia already.
you mean the White Rider?
Oh, I thought you asked about the Georgia. Okay, hold on. Let me
No,
just
no,
look at the Rider.
the Gatling White Rider stagger rate.
Is that what they mean by velocity, or is that just firing rate?
No, velocity is actually the speed from the beam itself was kind of slow at hitting the target.
Okay.
Yeah, so instead of being like a Unit 4, since it's, a huge charge beam or whatever, or any of the other giant beams, apparently they were like, yeah, we're just going to make this one kind of slow. So yeah, now it should line up with something a little more, boom, you hit them as soon as you let go.
It's weird that they would even do that. I'm still a little annoyed by some of the
Black
changes that
Rebel
they
slurs.
did by the Code Fairy stuff in general. Just taking away
Right.
certain weapons or aspects of the weapons in cost ranges where there's already like busted shit anyway that does more than they do. So like, it's not like they
Yep.
were gonna be unbalanced anyway.
Maybe they didn't want to get accused of like, buy the game if you want to win.
Oh, it's pay to win. Oh god. And then you just made them trash, so people are like, well, I feel ripped off now. Like, the fuck.
Yeah, it's the opposite effect.
Stagger value was raised by 1% on the Gatling, so it's 5 now.
The 20
Arm
bullets.
grenade-
It's not
wow,
bad.
Okay, arm grenade is up to 60%. from 20.
Yeah, but it's also an instant stun. It's a bazooka essentially.
Oh yeah.
I
But
was
it's really
expecting
good
80.
because it'll help you set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, 80 probably would have been better. But I guess maybe because they raised the stagger on the gun, they didn't want to like make it too quick to stun.
Also
people.
support tax re.
Yeah, because I think if it was 80,
Well,
have
these
a
people
pretty
call
good
me
stun,
stinky.
sir.
What's going on,
Like
Ashi?
a stun into a knockdown.
That would be, sir.
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
But and then it got force injector increase when it goes into Zeus. So that's cool, I guess. Because that's what the suit needed. But yeah, it definitely had
My volume should be the same.
some. It needed
That's
something.
weird.
So we'll see
Yeah,
how
I
it
guess-
does later down by the end of next month. I'm really curious to see if this actually goes up at all. Then the mass production Cubile got damage control 1 and got the shield or the shoulder buffer that the original Cubile had. I just think that's hilarious. The original Cubile doesn't have the shoulder buffer level 3 anymore, and every other version of the Cubile does.
Yeah, I was so mad about that. I was like, give it back to the regular Cubile. What the hell?
Yeah, just give it back to the regular Cubile too. Like they all need it. And leg buffer went to level 2 as well. Then at level 2 the speed increased a little bit and it gained one more close range part slot. But I mean, you know, at level 2 it looks like the damage is just fine, well over average. It seems to be dying a bit more, so I don't know if damage control and the buffers are going to save that, but a lot of things have a, you know, build up stagger, especially at level 2 with like the news that are all over the place. So hopefully that is what it needs. Other than that, the instant stuns is the kind of why it dies more so
Even
at
at it for at
650.
least
So
like
I'm
3 hours
curious
at this
to see
point.
if we see a increase in its survivability and, you know, win rate on both fronts with 700, but we see it, you know, probably increase a little bit, but not by much at level 1. Especially the amount of times it dies. I think that'll be pretty much the same. But I hope to be surprised though, because
The buffer will be relevant though. I mean, the shoulders are so big, it may actually save you from some downswings from a raid too. So
I mean, you're still probably
Yeah.
one comboed for most raids, and if you get heavy attacked, it doesn't matter. Like that's the other thing. Heavy attack just doesn't matter. It doesn't. You could have buffer level
Hey, just
9
shut up.
million, and it's like, yeah, well, I got a heavy
Man.
attack.
God damn it. That fun stinky bitch.
So, yeah, but
Stop it, I
that
say.
is the buffs and nerfs.
Ooh.
So yeah, last thing, guys. We kind of mentioned Unicorn possibly coming during anniversary, so we'll save anniversary talk for later. But legit this time, just one question: what new suit do you expect or want to see? I got mine already picked, and it's not the Delta Plus. I finally figured out what it was, because every time it gets mentioned, I'm like, that, and you're like, no, that's more like a
God.
raid. The Theta Plus.
It's because
That's
he's
what it
using a
was. That has
headset
a
and he's got
giant,
his fucking gain
like,
up. Like, I have him
F-15 cannon
down
thing.
from where he was too, and he's still loud as fuck. Shut up.
But yeah, that's my pick. Theta Plus. I want to see it.
for me, I'm gonna say the Delta Plus.
Okay, we got Delta Plus, Theta Plus,
Not too-
Gustav.
Sorry, I got people being sneaky machete. Agents fucking just putting sneaky in like a big old row. What are we
no.
talking about?
What suit do you expect or want to see specifically? I said Theta Plus. Emblem said Delta Plus.
I just want unicorn.
Too bad you've got the high.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Like, oh, by the way, we're just gonna short chuck it in. It's like, oh, but you were releasing so many unicorn things. Nope, Hainu. We still have to do that. Respect. Put respect on the Hainu.
Hainu and Nightingale would be pretty fun.
That would actually be pretty dope. I want to see that big clocky motherfucker running around.
Oh my goodness, I just clicked on a thing being like, what is this? And I found a mass production double Zeta.
Also,
This thing
MP Zeta, like, I know there wouldn't be anything crazy about it, but, like, there's nothing crazy about some of the other suits they release anyway, so I don't care at this point. Just put them all in.
Not gonna lie though, look up the mass production double Zeta, it looks hilarious.
It sure does.
It would also be hilarious for them to have the MP new, or it could have both incoms and the funnels. And just put it at a lower cost so that it just ruins that entire cost for it.
I do still think the mass-produced Zeta Gundam would fit nicely in like Lasner or something though, or Macross. But I mean, it literally
Right?
those things literally turn the planes, so you know, maybe too much of a stretch. Although this one might not. I don't think it does.
I don't think it does.
Just bend a frame, make it a.
It's like, is that one of those times where it's like transformables are still crazy and it's like, man, you want that on an MP? What the fuck's wrong with you?
But any other new suit random things?
No,
Seems
we'll
legit.
see what happens.
Guys brought this one up. Mass production double Zeta is another one that'd be interesting. I don't know if you guys have said it too.
Wait, I thought that's
No,
what
that's-
we
that's
were
the-
talking about.
that's-
It's like
that's the
before I
one that
brought
I
up
was joking
Zeta.
about. That
Yeah,
looked funny.
I was thinking about the mass-produced Zeta. Yeah,
there's
that-
also the ground type. I know Koraz was talking about this before. The Shikikai ground type and just other stuff like that.
I bet you has 4 beam sabers. The mass-produced double Zeta might be a raid.
Adds
He
it.
Yeah.
saw multiple beam sabers. He's like, right.
Well, the funny thing is that when we were first talking about Double Zeta, we kind of figured like it probably should have been a raid just because of all the aggressive, ridiculous shit that it did in the show, and it's like, oh well, we just had to wait for the enhanced.
Yeah, this was just like, yes.
You are correct. I've arrived. The true Double Zeta.
But yeah. If nothing else, shout out time,
Okie dokie.
Gustav.
It is I, the Goose. Gustav 13th, Gustav _ X triple I. On most things, not everything, because sometimes I just don't get those in time. But currently we are going through Super Robot Wars 30's new DLC while doing our dailies and all that on GBO2 every day. Trying to keep up with some other stuff. For example, I'm probably gonna have to try to do at least some sort of video on those evolution changes, Lord knows what else, but we're trying to keep up with stuff on YouTube. That being said, there are some playthroughs that haven't gotten quite completed because new stuff keeps cropping up that I want to put those out sooner. So hopefully we can get some of that wrapped up and like get caught up. I just don't want to spam like timelines and stuff with all that. But outside of that, just trying to do stuff for GBO2. Hopefully when Evolution and all that gets announced for their proper releases, we'll be getting in there as well, squadding up. And just in general, just trying to keep gaming. What about you guys? What you got coming up?
Yeah, and I am Gaming Emblem. You may have heard it before, but sometimes you may know me as Gaming Who. But I also play video games on the internet. You can find me at twitch.tv/Gaming Emblem. And if you want some spattered YouTube videos, there's a YouTube for it as well. I don't think the URL will be the same because I'm no like YouTube thing. So it's probably like youtube.com/random assortment of numbers and letters. But you know, what you gonna do? Just do a search for it. But yeah, kind of like Gustav, I'm playing. Definitely be heading up to SRW30 new content that they put out with the last little patch that came out last week. Super Robot Wars, GBO2 for sure. I can't think of any other stuff at the top of my head besides Live Alive. I think that one's gonna be a lot of fun. I can't wait to play it. Gustav, I'm sure you'll be playing it too, right?
Live Alive, and then also it was delayed, but I do want to get Advance Wars remade for
Yeah, that one, yeah.
And now actually that I have a Switch, I should probably get on Fire Emblem, although that's gonna probably be on the back burner compared to newer things.
Yeah, I've been sitting on what is it, Three Houses for a little bit. But video games on the internet, we play those at the Gaming Emblem Twitch or whatever. Come check it out. Banner community nights on Wednesdays when Magnum doesn't oversleep or feels bad or whatever, man. Gustav's there too.
I am indeed here. Things do indeed happen.
Yeah, it was definitely both last night. It was technically overslept, but because I was
because
bad,
of
I woke up.
complications.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad you're
boy.
feeling better. But I do know there was one point in my stream I was like, oh, Magnum's on sleep must be OP.
Yep, it was, but for the wrong reasons.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
Please be careful.
Well, no, the me sleeping was kind of the oversleep problem, right? But the me waking up was actually because I was sick. So, yeah. Oops. But anyway, I am EG Magnum. I've got a Twitch, Twitter, Discord, YouTube channel, stuff like that. Also, forgot to say this, but yeah, I'll do it now. Why not? It'll be in the description below. Everybody's information as usual. But yeah, we'll be playing more Tarkov, more Gundam, more Lost Ark,
Thank you for the follow, Neric, even though that's
and
not so.
probably picking up
not
something
even out
else.
there right now.
Too many games, it happens. Right now, sticking with GBO2, Tarkov, and Lost Ark for, whenever I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be pretty much doing the Lost Ark casual playthrough and mostly doing dailies and stuff off stream. Unless there's some crazy content that comes out, probably just gonna be doing that for now. Maybe just do a full PvP stream of that too, because the PvP is pretty crazy
It's
on
like a
Lost Ark.
game in and of itself.
Yeah. So, with Tarkov, crazy event going on right now. They got rid of all the traders, and people thought wipe's coming, but yeah, I'm assuming no. Apparently, too, they might have tweeted out that their wipe's not coming for a while now. So, event that's got everybody raging, and Nikita's a big troll, and I love it. And if you want your traders back, we all have to donate money and collectively as a group work together to get them back. Hopefully, though, this ends with new bosses and stuff. So if that's going to be a thing, we'll probably do like a long stream at the very least, farming the new stuff. Other than that, though, GBO2 and YouTube content for GBO2, hopefully more coming soon within the next couple of weeks, as hopefully we get the network test too. Not only tips and tricks video, but I hopefully will finally get my Dom Pooper video out. So yeah, that'll be fun. How to shit on your teammates, enemies. There is you can't actually
The
troll your
toxicity
teammates
of it all.
with the bombs. They don't actually stun your teammates, but yes. But other than that, yeah, Gundam Evo stuff. Possibly we'll have some random content coming out in the next few days as well. But yeah, other than that, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought about this podcast and whatnot. But anyway, that'll be it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
Later.
Bye.
Woo.
So much
Mark.
so much chaos is happening while you guys are doing that part of the show. Holy shit.
But
Ooh.
yeah, that was whoops.
Yeah, fucking 4 hours almost. Ridiculous.
Oh, also, we didn't mention it, but yeah, there was too much. Otherwise, yeah, we might mention it later when it's more relevant. But as far as the speed challenge,
Oh yeah,
that
that
was
we
the thing.
won. I mean, we still haven't gotten the other things shipped in for sure, so
yeah,
once all that's done, we can probably mention it. But yeah, we won.
What are you? Oh, yeah. What else were we talking about? Because I think we're allowed to talk about, like, that we're doing a giveaway and stuff for.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about, we just forgot to mention that we actually officially won
that
the...
we won during
Oh,
the yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, yeah. For everyone that's still here, you know, we won the PvE event. That's like a billion years ago.
Follow us, there'll be giveaways later.
We did it.
Dude, I am not gonna lie. I'm hoping that box has a Hackeye t-shirt and a Tenda plush. I don't care what else is in there if it has those two things. Oh, okay, one more thing. One other piece of Battle Operation swag that I would like would be a dice bag. That would be cool too.
Yeah, I want that fucking van. Needed to be themed at that point. Give me that vacuum. The stupid thing is that I could legitimately use the new one because like the old one is like a hand-me-down and it's got like electric tape on the fucking like wires and shit. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. Give me that. Give vacuum.
Like, I'm pretty sure JPT doesn't see it like a little joke.
As a meme. I feel like some of their player base does though.
I hope so. They're like a fucking vacuum.
But it's probably like a common service over there that does giveaways that they just use.
I could definitely see that.
But yeah, you guys continuing or?
Well, I'm over on YouTube, so that's irrelevant.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll probably be switching over to SRW30.
Okay. I was debating on streaming a bit more Tarkov, but I might just do that off stream.
Oh no, you're gaming. Just be a degen.
Disgusting. How could you?
Maybe a little bit longer.
Responsible bedtimes, especially since you kind of almost died in your sleep. So.
No, we're good. We're
That
good.
is relevant. You should definitely.
But Tarkov.
No.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out though and
Ooh.
see if Tarkov things happen. If not, I'll probably see you here in a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the podcast, guys.
Have yourself a good one. If you're wondering if I'm gonna get out of the call, I kinda can't because I'm stuck in this match. So I'll be a second.
Alright, we'll go. We'll appreciate it.
Yeah. Die, please. Fucking jutted to the right. That's right. Oh, run away. Hit that man. Woo! God. Yeah. This suit's really busy. Mostly just because it has so much mobility and I'm like constantly tempted to use it, but I feel like I'm overdoing it sometimes. I don't gotta be this extra with this thing. And they blew out the base. How dare. But yeah, hopefully, and I'm gonna look back at it too. But several things happened in terms of the audio, like my XLR lately has been kind of fucking up with the drivers and some other things. They did some really fucky updates like over a year ago at this point, and they just kind of never fixed it. Because like some people had workarounds and other things, but they didn't work for everybody, and I just kind of recently had to start dealing with them. But I did driver repair on my shit, but it also means I had to reroute everything. So for a little bit, some of the audio was on the wrong slots, and those slots had different filters and stuff on them. So like, if you thought earlier the chat line was super loud, it's because there was actually, I put that where the sample originally was. And the sampler actually had a gain filter on it. So I just switched them after a while. But yeah, it was like genuinely clipping on the thing, which is very hard to do, especially on regular OBS because the meter's a lot more generous. Oh shit, no, we're trading nullet. Oh, there's that guy in the alley. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. Come here. Come here. Come here. No. No. I don't fucking got nothing to do with me. No, no. Oh my god, can I get my iframes? Jesus fucking Christ. It's taking 5 goddamn years. Yes. Ooh. But yeah, I'm gelling with this thing a little bit more. I'm feeling it. I wouldn't say I'm really getting great, like, damage numbers or anything, but it's good enough. And being able to, like, fly and stuff on a dime is pretty good. It kind of brings me back to, like, the old days of doing a lot of Methus and Donut.
You got some praise.
But yeah, like that, there's something in action in terms of the rival thing. Like, the total wasn't high enough to actually put us over. Because it's 371 versus 333. So we only got the +1 for the rival. So 11.
Here are this battle's rewards.
Also, stop calling me stinky! Stop it, I say! You're stinky. Let me kill that. And then we will... Where's my body? Where did I go? Where me? Hello, it me. Okay. That being said, I wasn't expecting us to get out on a win that fast. But I'll take that, because I'm gonna be honest, the last couple days of us ending at like 2-something or whatever, I need to do other videos and shit, so I'm probably just gonna take this as an opportunity to work on other shit. I am 100% okay with that. Oh yeah, kick me out. I'm good. Yes! So, no one really to raid here. We will be back tomorrow over on Twitch doing the usual stuff. I'm kind of tempted to try to get us to get in there for some practice maybe over the weekend, but definitely gonna try to run the usual slots Tuesdays and Thursdays on there. Hopefully we can get enough people for the team on clans, but you know, it's still a week away, so I'm not too worried about it right now. I don't know if we'll finish Super Robot Wars over the weekend. Maybe if we get through enough of it. And then from there, we'll probably finally get started on what is it, my brain, Judgment. But yeah, I'll let you guys know either on the Discord or just during our announcement post and all that stuff. But until then, this is goodbye for now, and I'll talk to you all later on. Also, what the fuck? I ended up getting a follower on. I think on both ends too, not just yeah, both of them are on Twitch. That's funny. But yeah, have a good